Welcome to Wilson's channel.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Chat with Wilson podcast. This is episode 22. We got a special guest today, Amber, aka CookieAmbz. What's up, Amber?
Hi. Hi, Wilson.
Hello, hello. Thanks for being here. Shout outs to you for being willing to do this. I appreciate you for signing up and just for being a homie. And also, everyone, thank you guys, whether you're watching on YouTube or live on Twitch. Thank you guys, especially Noti Gang. You guys are on top of it. Just a heads up, there will be no alerts during the duration of the podcast. And make sure to drop Amber a follow. We have the exclamation guest command, which Drew just used earlier, so thank you, Drew. Amber is a fellow Twitch streamer. We're going to talk a lot about her streaming career and more stuff just about her in general. So we'll dive into that. Sit back, relax, and for you, Amber, let me know whenever you need a break, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, just if needed, so no worries. All right, guys. Without further ado, we're just going to jump right into it. Let's do a quick little brief introduction about yourself. What can you say about yourself, Amber? And then I'll ask you some more stuff.
Okay, so what I usually say when people first come to my Twitch is, hi, my name is Amber. You can call me Ambz or Cookie. I like a lot of cookies. I also like boba, but on the serious note, I'm a nursing graduate that likes to play a lot of games on her free time. I play a lot, mostly Valorant, and a different variety of games such as like Fortnite, League, and Stardew Valley a lot lately, and some scary games.
Ooh, there you go. Okay. What other interests do you have outside of Twitch, would you say?
So I would say I'm very adventurous, so I like to go to different like places. I like traveling. I like to go to like music concerts and events and festivals. And I used to like hiking. Don't do it as much now. And I kind of picked up bowling. I just haven't done it in a while. So those are, and just hang out with friends. I like, going out to eat. I'm like a big foodie. So just the fun things.
Random question. Since Phantom said Pink Stitch, what's her name again? I don't remember. It's like 624 though, right?
Oh, Angel.
Angel. Okay.
Yeah.
It's Angel, Phantom. It's Angel. Okay. Oh wait, you said it right before. I didn't even see that. Pink Stitch. I had no idea. Okay, how would you describe your personality?
Let's see. I guess I'm pretty shy at first when you first meet me, and getting like the first meeting, I'm like I'd have to get to know you to be comfortable. But after a while, I do warm up, and I like to be very like easygoing, but also like I like to have plans, because I like to keep busy. I also like just to like have fun and just to meet new people, and I don't know, just enjoy life, because like life's so short now. It's not
Absolutely.
like something you should dwell in the past or anything, and that's giving you a bad mood.
Yeah, that's true. I do know a little bit about you, so even if I do know things about you, I'm still gonna ask anyways. So you
Okay.
could just like let everyone, get some info about you. Do you prefer having like one-on-one hangout sessions, or do you like more like group stuff?
I say a little mix of both. I was actually thinking about this question, because, yeah, so I do know you a little bit because we live in the general same area, but I've actually
Yep.
never like hang out with you one on one, and I would like to like do that with you sometime, but most of the time when we hang out, we are in a group setting.
Mhm.
So, it's nice to do a little bit of both, because if you're on a one-on-one session with someone, you get to know them a little bit better in a deeper level, versus a group. It's hard to like talk to everyone
True.
in
Yes.
the same level of like getting to know them. So to answer your question, it's just a little bit both.
Okay. Yeah, which is exactly why I like having this like podcast or these type of streams. Just because everyone could have access to like online, and then just it is a one-on-one conversation for the most part. Although people are watching, it's cool for them to just be able to get something out of this. I mean, not everything can be said, of course, but at least we're still learning about you.
Yeah. I'm learning about you too, Wilson.
All right, so you talked about some of the interests that you like doing and have done before. What does your day to day look like? The weekdays and
um,
weekends.
so like when the first okay, so when Wilson first asked me to do this podcast, I was actually surprised how quickly it got to me
Mhm.
because I wasn't expecting it to be so fast. And my current life is actually kind of boring now. Just because right now I'm studying for my NCLEX, which is basically the state board exam to practice to become a licensed nurse to practice in the field. So right now I'm just kind of like studying, and then I picked up streaming a lot more, just because now that I'm done with school, I have a lot more free time. So I've been picking up streaming and like studying, and then just basically like hanging out with friends when they invite me to places or just doing things. Spend time with a little bit of family when we have little events, and that's pretty much it. Oh, and travel if I can.
When are you taking that exam?
I'm hoping like end of this month or a little bit beginning of next month. Just because right now it's a pretty hard exam.
Yeah.
It's basically everything you learned in nursing school, and you have to practice, as a nurse, you practice safety precautions for the patient. So you want to like have like the best like practice with them, or as a patient, like for the patient, for their like care. So I'm like taking like my time with it, but also like make sure I'm learning the material very well so I can pass. It's
Wow,
also a very expensive test too. It's like
that is pretty soon.
yeah, it's
How much is it?
a
Oh,
$550. Yeah,
for one
wait,
exam?
yeah, and if you don't pass, you gotta pay it again. Oh, and you have to wait 45 days after if you don't pass.
Holy! So this would be your first time?
No, actually, I didn't pass the first time.
Okay.
So this is my second time, and I'm definitely, trying my best to make sure it's my last time.
Yeah, you're gonna be way more prepared since you know exactly like what to expect, right?
Yeah. So the test now, it's actually called the next generation NCLEX. So basically means it's kind of like so they give you a certain amount of questions. So if you got like the first question right, they'll keep giving you like more questions to test your knowledge. But if you miss like another question, then they're gonna go, okay, you don't know this question, so you're gonna test you again on more of that same material, and then they're gonna like it's kind of like a threshold, like a line, and they're gonna
See.
keep giving you harder questions until you like think the test thinks, oh, it's because it's a generated computer
Yeah.
computer adaptive test is going to be like, okay, you do know some materials or you don't. So that's pretty much how the next generation NCLEX is.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Good luck to you. Hope it's not gonna be too stressful. And I know it's gonna be time consuming to like studying everything, but you got this, Amber.
Thank you.
And thinking about school in the old days, that's your future right there, though. So got
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, definitely. It's like kind of weird like saying I was in school like not too long ago because I know a lot of my friends now are out of school.
Hmm.
So I kind of felt like, oh, I'm like the, older one in school. But I mean, the program I was in actually was really like around a lot of people around the same age as me. So
Yeah.
I didn't feel too intimidated by that.
Yeah, and it's all good anyways. Like everyone's living at their own pace in life, so
Mm-hmm.
you have your own specific dreams to accomplish. Okay,
Definitely.
let's talk about the very beginnings of your life.
Sure, go ahead.
So again, whatever I ask, it's to your level of comfort of answering. Okay, so don't feel pressured to answer whatever. Um, but talk about what life was like growing up. So, like where, what it was like with family, maybe even in school. Just give us like a good recap, and then I'll ask you specific questions.
Okay. Um, so I guess I'll just start from the beginning. I was actually born in Sacramento, California. I lived with my mom and my dad and my grandparents. And my parents divorced at age 2, so I don't really remember much being them being together, but I would take like time to spend time with my mom and dad equally at the time. Um, and then my mom bought a business in the Bay in this kind of like a town called Martinez. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, but it's kind of like up in the Bay. And we moved there. So it's just me, my mom, my grandparents. My mom basically was kind of like the main like caretaker of my grandparents because my grandparents uh moved from Vietnam to America, and she was like the first one of like her siblings to like work in America. So I really look up to my mom to this day because like she's a very independent woman. So we moved there, and then we lived there for a little bit. And then um, I would like kind of like go back and forth from where my dad lives, which is back in Sacramento, to that area. And it's like obviously it's like about 2 hour drive. So I think my dad would either pick me up or my mom would take me there. I'm not exactly entirely sure. My dad and my mom never really got along. They never really told me why.
Yeah.
So my dad, he was kind of like the typical Asian dad, like very, kind of like shield off, like didn't really like go in deep with like emotions. And my mom was like the strict mom that really wanted me to have like the best grades and like succeed in school.
Yeah.
So that's how my life went. And then I actually so in 2006, my mom sold the business and she actually bought a new business in Arizona. And so me and my mom and my grandparents actually moved to Arizona in 2006. So I lived in Arizona from 2006 to I think about 2019, so about like 13 years, 15 years.
Oh.
So I lived there in Arizona for middle school and high school, and then for college. And then college, I went to Arizona State, and I went there for 4 years. And then after Arizona, I moved to back to California, and worked a little bit because I was trying to still figure out what I wanted to do with my career. And then I ended up going to get into nursing school in 2022, 2023. So then I did my 1 year of nursing school, and then I graduated recently this winter.
Wow, I had no idea that you
Yeah.
lived in Arizona at all. Okay, lots of questions, lots of questions. That was
Yeah,
like that was a
sure.
solid recap. um, just to confirm, so you're an only child?
Yeah, I am an only child.
Okay, and then you said you're moving back and forth between Sacramento and Martinez. Like, for how long were you doing that? Was it up until
I,
you moved to Arizona?
yeah, so it's kind of like up until in 2006. I don't know how old I was. Can't
Yeah.
math right now, but yeah, 2006. Early childhood, like I would say like early elementary school days. Because I
Okay.
remember going to middle school in Arizona, and for some reason, Arizona like combines their kindergarten all the way up to 8th grade.
Hmm.
So you're basically in the same school with like kindergartners and like preteens, 8th graders,
Yeah.
and then they separate it from obviously high school up.
So, because you moved, were you like no longer in contact with your dad, or how did that go?
No, so I guess my dad he was really helpful when growing up. So when I moved to Arizona, because we had like some like summer and winter breaks, I would actually fly to him every
Oh,
winter
okay.
and summer break, like during school, and my dad would pay for it. And so that means I would fly actually by myself. I started flying on a plane by myself around like 10 years old. I remember
Wow.
because like when I first got into the plane and I was like really nervous, as like a 10-year-old.
Hmm.
Um, the like the flight attendant was like trying to make me feel like welcome and like show me like the front of the plane with like all the controls are, and then like talk to the other flight attendants and the pilot. So that was pretty cool. That was
Yeah.
a really, and that's what made me kind of like flying a little bit more because like it made me like more comfortable to fly by myself
Hmm.
for that reason.
Okay, okay. So you were constantly in contact with both parents throughout your life then.
I would say so. I'm definitely a lot closer to my mom. My dad, again, was a very like
Closed
typical
off.
dad, like
Yeah.
yeah, closed off, very shield. He would only care about my grades.
Okay.
Like he'd be like, "Do you have an A?" And I'll be like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, I buy you a gift. There you go."
Nice. Okay. And then how did you decide to move back to the Bay, especially after finishing college in Arizona?
So back then, when the city I lived in, Arizona, it was still like upcoming. So there wasn't a lot of like Asians, a lot of like boba places, Korean barbecue, any like those kind of like fun things.
Yeah.
So like growing up, I was really like annoyed that like going to high school, I was like kind of like one of the only few Asians. So that like kind of like got, and I got really annoyed of just like like people in Arizona because like similar to where we live, like it's so big but so small at the same time. Like everyone just knows each other.
Yes.
Like yeah, just like through mutual friends. So after college, I was kind of just like uh you know tired of everything, and I wanted to try something new. And I actually kind of went through like a really bad breakup at that time when I was graduating college.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? I'm tired. I'm just kind of like done. I want to try something new. So I moved to California.
Fresh start.
Yeah,
So that means you moved without your mom?
I did. Yeah, I did. I moved without my mom.
Wow. So you just like what was it? Like you found a job here and then you were just able to like move here independently or
So when I moved out of Arizona, I had like a kind of like a family friend or a relative that lived
Mhm.
in like the East Bay
Okay.
at the time.
Yeah.
This was 2019. So I lived with them for a little bit because I was kind of like going to school, and then I also found a job like working part-time because I thought at the time I wanted to be an optometrist. So I was like going to community college to like finish up those like prereqs for optometry school, and then working at like an optometry office. And then when like COVID hit, I had to move back to like Sacramento area
Mm.
because my mom's brother, so my uncle, I'm a lot closer to him. The one in like the East Bay, I was like okay with, but they needed like the space back for like their son to come back from college or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I moved during COVID. I moved there to live with them, and then I found like a full-time job because I thought at the time I still wanted to like pursue the optometry route. And then it wasn't until like like worked there a couple years and realized I didn't really want to do that route anymore. So then I was switched to nursing, and then that's why I moved back to the Bay because my nursing school was in the Bay. In the Bay.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
So that transition from like someone you knew to your uncle's place and then you moved again like to your current place?
Yeah. So I moved quite around a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I currently now live in the same place I started nursing school.
Okay. All right. So more so about your childhood. I know you're very very young, especially when you lived like in Sac and then Martinez. But how would you compare like life in those areas and then I guess you could continue on talking about what life was like in those schools in Arizona.
So to be honest, I don't really remember much about the like my early childhood of like Sacramento and Martinez. In
Mm.
Martinez, I did have like a neighbor that I would hang out with a lot. She was like 1 year younger than me, and we would like just play with each other. And then we had like another like neighbor kid like come play with us. And then we would like play every day like as back then when you played outside.
Hmm.
So we played a lot together. And then when I moved to Arizona, obviously I didn't keep in touch with them, but we do follow each other on like Instagram.
Yeah.
So like like I can see like her life now, like she's married, and she still lives in like that area of the Bay. Obviously I moved around a lot, but like I congratulated her when she got married, so it's nice to like keep that contact. And then my life in Arizona, I would say that was like my teenage years. So definitely like preteen to like elementary school to like high school, so teenager up to college. That's where most of my life was. So I learned like a lot of like basic foundations of like friendships and like life like lessons
Yeah.
through being there.
Okay. So about those life lessons, you were a minority when you were in Arizona. Can you talk more about like your lifestyle? What were you doing in school, like activity wise, maybe sports involvement, all that?
Yeah. So my mom really pushed me to be very academically like successful.
Mm.
So she like would always put me in like tutoring. Like I would when I was younger, I would be in like one-on-one tutoring. Like I think like a tutor would come to my house and like do homework with me. I would like call up my cousin because my at the time my cousin was gonna go to medical school. So I would like do phone calls with him about with my homework. I have any questions. And then my mom put me in Kumon. I don't know if you guys know what Kumon
Yeah,
is.
Kumon.
She put me in Kumon for a really long time. That was actually like my first job, like first job working at Kumon, being a tutor or a grader. So I was in Kumon for like quite a few years, and then in high school, well, let's say seventh, eighth grade, I really wanted to be like athletic, so I joined soccer, and I really liked soccer. It was really fun. I wasn't the best at it, but I did like at the time where like seventh, eighth grade was kind of like, oh, you don't have to be that good. Like you can just join and then like you still play the sport. And it wasn't until high school when I like actually became like really active. So I think the first year of high school, I did like honors or whatever they call it at the time. I think honors, and then like I did track, and then I think junior and senior year I did soccer, and then I did like yearbook. I did show choir, um, and then I was also part of like National Honor Society. What else? And like also like being in like AP classes at the time.
Jeez.
So yeah, I was really like academically driven and like just trying to be really active. The show
Uh-huh.
choir one was actually really fun because at first I wasn't really like performing arts type person,
Yeah.
but it wasn't until like I made like a group of friends in high school that like really liked show choir, so I decided to join and try out, and I got in, and it was really fun because like we got to compete. We went to like California to like compete in a performance, a competition, and then the first time I ever went to Disneyland, or actually I've been to Disneyland as a kid, but I don't remember. But this one, like I think it was in 2014 where I went to Disneyland for the first time in high school with the show choir, so it was pretty fun. And yearbook was also fun too, just to like be to make the yearbook and be part of like a group. And we went to San Diego, so it was a really
Nice.
fun time.
Dang, that's dope. You were super involved.
Yeah.
So what did you graduate with? Since it seems like you're a straight A student.
I wouldn't say that. I'd say I definitely had some B's, but I
Oh,
definitely was like I think like what's it called? I already forgot what it's called. Weighted is like 4.0 and then unweighted
yeah,
is like 3.9. Yeah, like something like that.
for sure. Oh, by the way, appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. What's up, everybody? Episode
Hello
22 right
chat.
now with the Chat with Wilson podcast featuring Amber, aka CookieAmbz. Still learning about her childhood and upbringings right now. All right, other questions. So, are you full Viet by any chance?
Yeah, I am full Vietnamese.
Okay, so do you speak Viet to your family for the most part, or
Um
English?
so my Vietnamese is pretty Americanized and broken. I only speak it very conversationally to my grandparents. My
Yeah.
mom, I speak full English.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. It's because my mom, she when she divorced my dad, she was like dating this guy, American guy, and like she would just speak English to him, so she didn't really like bother to like switch with me when I was younger.
Yes.
So that's why I kind of wish I was like more fluent now because obviously being bilingual is really important in the working field. Um, and just have it just to it's just nice too. But I would say mine is like I wouldn't say I'm like full fluent at all. I can get by like a conversation. I'm
Yeah.
done.
Plus, you didn't really use it while you're in Arizona because you were like a minority, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So, since you were like a minority, did you ever like by chance ever deal with bullying?
Surprisingly, no. I would say. Um, I don't think so. Like I definitely did have a hard time like meet getting like having friends though because
Fitting in.
a lot of friends were kind of like cliquey and it was kind of hard to relate to them or like hang out with them because even like at the time they would like hang out like after school like at a park or something or like whatever or someone's house and my mom was pretty strict about like me going over to people's houses and she wouldn't even let me like sleep over a girl's house so it was kind of just like hard to like make friends like outside of
Yeah.
school and like the like stages. I just remember doing a time where like there's this thing called like freshman Friday and apparently
Oh.
like yeah I don't know
Uh-huh.
it's there was like this thing called freshman Friday where like I guess like the higher grade would just like throw pennies at you because they
You
like
get
because you're
hazed basically for being a
yeah
freshman.
and then like I remember this particularly so I went the whole day like no problems right like
Huh.
nothing like I was just like normal until like the last hour of like the day I got a penny thrown at me but it was from my friend because she was like a sophomore so I was like what the heck like what I went the whole day like fine and then this happened so yeah she threw a like penny at me and like we laughed about it but it was just like crazy to me that like that was a thing back then like freshman Friday.
Yeah, yeah. It was definitely a thing. Like I've heard about that. Okay. Other than that, what would you say was your high school stereotype? What were you known as by the other kids?
Um, I definitely was not a popular kid. I remember there was like the popular group. Um, are you talking about like in high school or like in
Yeah,
elementary school?
high school, high school.
I would say I was just like like a extra activity kid. Like I was in show choir and yearbook at the time, so like I was more focused on like that group of friends. I definitely know like when we were in show choir, we did have like a clique of like groups and friends in show choir because like there's quite a few of us and like and then like show choir was like during our lunchtime. There was like so we had two lunch periods, one like first lunch period and second lunch period, but show choir would be like the second lunch period. So then we would just literally like the first lunch period would just literally just hang out in the show choir room and like chill there, hang out, talk to people, and then show choir would happen right after that. So that's pretty much I would think I was described as just like someone who was like really into like activities.
Okay. The involved kid.
Yeah.
Busy, busy.
Yeah.
All right. So after high school, you decided to go to college, and then you said you stayed in Arizona, right?
Yeah, funny thing is I actually applied to like UC schools in
Mm.
California because at the time I really wanted to like move back to California. I don't know why. When I was younger, I was like really like thinking like California's like the best. It's like I was just like tired of Arizona. I really wanted to get out. So I did apply to UC schools. I got accepted a couple of them.
Yeah.
But I ended up choosing Arizona State because they paid for my whole entire school basically like the next four
Ooh.
years, and I was like, I don't want
Okay.
to be in debt with
Yeah.
my bachelor's degree. So, and plus at the time I was in a really like serious relationship, so I didn't want to like do long distance either.
Yeah.
So I just decided to go to ASU because I was not gonna have like any. I didn't have to take out any loans. It was like through a scholarship, through grants, like everything was covered for me.
Yes. So how was your time in ASU? Like, were you also involved during that time?
Not as much, because ASU is so big and like I just didn't really like be as involved like physical activity wise. So obviously I wasn't like playing soccer as much anymore. I did like meet like a group of like so ASU is actually where I met like a lot of like Asian people. And so this like group of Asian people wanted to do like this like urban like dance type of style. So they had like dance practice like every Friday after school at the gym. So I was like friends with them. And then at the time, like I said before, I was like in a really kind of committed serious relationship.
Yeah.
So and we both went to ASU. So I was like spending a lot of time with him and then also like doing the dance practice as well as like just kind of like hanging with friends in between classes. So no, in college I wasn't as involved as I was in high school.
Okay. So during that time, like even after college, who would you say was like your main group of friends? Was it people that you met from high school, like college, or what would you say?
Um, I would say no to high school because I actually only talked to like one person from my high school now. So that's like it's been so long, so it's kind of like we all go our different paths, different
Yep,
ways, and different
in life.
lifestyles. Like that's just like how life is. College, since my college was in Arizona, I don't really like talk to a lot of people from college anymore. Maybe like a few,
Hmm.
but now like my current friends are actually a lot more in California because we hang out, we talk, we go to like events like raves and stuff. So I kind of like talk to them more. And we have like our own little group chat too.
Yeah,
So, and then also like kind of like meeting you guys through Twitch is also like my current group of friends that I like actively talk to now.
for sure. Okay, let's talk about that transition. So you mentioned it earlier. Decided to go back to the Bay.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like being in the Bay? Like just back in the Bay, like the whole lifestyle change and just going to school. Like what really changed for you?
I'm not gonna lie, when I first moved to the Bay, it was pretty tough. It was definitely not what I expected. It was actually a lot harder than I thought it'd be because, um, obviously California is really expensive.
Yeah.
That was like the number one thing. And like I said before, I was kind of like mentally going through like a breakup, so I was also not like in the best like mental spot. But I did meet some friends and I did go to school and helped a lot like with like how I was feeling. So like met a friend through my cousin because my cousin still lives in the Bay, and I actually met her like a couple like when I was 19. I don't know how long ago that was. I think like 6 years ago. And she told me she lived like in the Bay Area. So her name just to say her name, her name's Lois. So with Lois, I contacted her, told her I was moving to California, and like we kind of hung out. She kind of introduced me to like her friends, and that's actually how I met Drew. Um,
Oh,
so I met Drew way before we started streaming.
that's crazy.
Yeah. So that's how I met Drew. And then I kind of also I was part of VSA. Oh, I forgot to mention that. I was part of VSA in college. And so VSA stands for Vietnamese Student Association. So um in Arizona State, they would hold like an annual conference where they would like have people from the Southwest region, like so the Southwest region including like Utah and Colorado, to come to like one area just to do like VSA activities. So I met a few people from NorCal area, and they did come to that, and I like connected with them, and then I that's how I was able to kind of like meet people in like the Bay Area. I actually went to one VSA meeting in San Jose State, and that's kind of like where I had like met people, and then from there I met people from other mutual friends, which became into like ravers, and then we started raving together, and now we're like there's some friends I have now I still talk to, and some I don't.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much like all connections where the connections are made.
Oh, okay, okay. All right, putting all the pieces together to understand your life. How about work? What was like the work experience like in the beginning? Because you said Kumon was that your first one?
Yeah, so Kumon was my first like job when I was like 15 or 14 at the time. Um, I started being on Kumon. I was like a really like high leveled student, I guess. So the Kumon instructor there was like, "Oh, like, do you want to like just help me, like, volunteer to help me grade stuff? Because you get like these little packets, and you have to like do these homework packets and do these packets in Kumon.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you go like twice a week or 3 times a week, whatever, how much you pay for it, whatever. And I would just grade them, and then she was just hiring like her students because obviously like training her students like her students know how like the grading works. So I was like grading, and then I ended up like advancing into like higher math. I think I was like doing calculus when I was barely even like a freshman or something, because I did calculus in high as a senior, but I was like a freshman doing calculus. So
Damn.
um Yeah, so I end up like
Oh.
helping like people who are taking like advanced math or like reading in Kumon into that, and then I started working there part-time. Are you asking about like like previous jobs history, or are you
Yeah,
talking about
yeah,
jobs
just
only in California?
no, no, job history in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, my first job was Kumon. And then I in high school I decided I wanted to try like a different job. So I looked around like a bunch of different places, and I landed a job at a restaurant. It's called Five Guys. So I
Five
actually worked at
guys.
Five Guys. Huh?
Yeah. Customer service.
Yeah, customer service. I wanted like customer service experience. So I worked at Five Guys for like a little bit. I was like 16 or 17 at the time. Um, and then after that, I switched to retail. So I worked at an Oakley Vault store. So Oakley's like the sunglasses, but the Vault is basically was at an outlet mall, and they sold like clothes or like yeah clothes or sunglasses and shorts and like shirts. So I worked there at the outlet mall during college. And then I decided I want to kind of like be more serious about my career. So I switched to working at optometry office. I worked in optometry office a little bit and at the end of my college career, closer to my college, because the Oakley store was a little bit far from where I was going to college. And then I picked up optometry office when I moved to California because I thought at the time that's kind of where I wanted to like be in.
Hmm.
And after that, when I just after 2 years working full time at optometry office, I was like, it's not really what I wanted. Not because like optometry is like bad. It's just like I didn't like the like insurance side of it, insurance and retail, and just kind of like for like kind of like forcing people to buy like certain glasses or contacts when they didn't like to. Like I didn't want to deal with
Yeah.
like retail. So I switched to nursing.
What was your title when you were working at the optometry?
It's called optometric tech. So I
Okay.
was working with the doctor. So if the doctor ever needed me to pre-test the patient, so when you first come in, you check in, and then you'd have to do like those little machines. Like so for the first one's like the autorefractor where they take a picture of your eye and then gets like as like a base prescription, and then the other one is like everyone hates it. It's like the air puff one. Um, so you have to take like your ocular pressure from that machine, and then the other one is like the field test, so it's just like measuring your like visual field, so like your peripherals. It's like the kind of like the button pressing one, and then you seat them in the room, and then you wait for the doctor. And if the doctor needs like additional scans, then I would take the patient back into the first room and then do more additional scanning for like other stuff.
I
And then
see.
yeah, and then while you're doing that, you're also doing like front desk work too. So you're like scheduling patients, you're also like answering the phone call,
Mm.
you're grabbing insurances, and that's the part where I kind of
You
like,
didn't like, yeah.
yeah, I didn't like because it was just kind of like you're multitasking, which is fine to multitask, but it's like once you get into like insurances and calling people for their insurance, and people obviously don't know how to use their insurance, and you're trying to explain to them, it gets really complicated because a lot of patients just be like, well, why am I waiting so long for an appointment? Well, it's
Hmm.
because your insurance is not approving it, and that's the part where people don't understand,
You
and it's
gotta
kind
like
of like,
explain everything down.
yeah,
Okay,
it's
I could see
it,
how that could be a little frustrating.
yeah, definitely.
So, what is the dream job then? Since you're getting into nursing, is it literally to become a nurse, or how far are you gonna go with that?
So right now I'm pretty open to any kind of nurse.
Yeah.
During my clinicals, I did thought I really liked the NICU, which was neonatal care, which is like the little babies. But I also kind of like, thought about travel nursing, or now it's more like up like what's it called aesthetics, where you can just do like Botox and stuff, because that's more like a more calmer lifestyle. So if I ever want to like have kids or something or have a family, that'd be more like settle versus like travel nursing where you're like always on the go.
Yeah.
So right now I'm kind of open. I'm also like open to like even emergency room, because like I actually think the emergency room is really interesting. I know it's very like fast paced and like crazy, but like I think it's actually really interesting, and it makes the time go by way faster. And I had a lot of like nurse friends right now that are in the emergency room. They like it a lot. So I'm just like pretty open to anything right now.
Oh, that's pretty cool that you have like a lot of different nursing friends that could just give you their input.
Yeah,
What it sounds like.
pretty much.
Okay, and so that kind of concludes your work experience so far, right?
Mhm.
For sure. We're gonna move on more so towards like social media, social life, all that.
Okay. Sure.
Um, aside from Twitch, how active are you on other like social media platforms, and what are you using?
I'm pretty active on Instagram. I'm definitely like on there a lot. Twitter now lately because I'm streaming a lot more, so I
Yeah.
know a lot of like announcements and achievements are posted on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. TikTok, I don't really post that much reels or videos, but I am on there just to like, once you're like on that TikTok, like you just keep like scrolling up and just it's like endless.
Endless, yeah, cycle
Yeah.
scrolling.
And I'm mostly active now on Twitch because I am picking up streaming a lot more. So
Yes.
those are like my like guess four main like platforms I've been using a lot lately.
How would you compare the difference between them? Because like I one key line that you said is that you've been on X or Twitter more because you're streaming, right? So like how
Yeah.
would you compare I guess the people that you know on each platform or just like just using it in general?
So Instagram, like I used it to make connections with friends that like live far away or different, areas. Like like when you go to rave and you like vibe with someone or you like talk to them, you're like, "Oh, what's your IG?" So you just get the IG and it's kind of just like, you stay connected through that.
Yeah.
Um and then Twitter is mostly for like my Twitch stuff because I notice a lot of people I follow on Twitter or X is kind of like oh, like they're streamers too.
Yeah.
So I see a lot of that, and like, you can also like connect with people through Twitter through that, and like, and find their Twitch from that. So I guess it's just a little different. Like Twitch, Discord, Twitter's like one category, and then my Instagram's kind of like more personal. So like social life, like going out, like
Facts.
other like relationships too. I
Yeah.
guess I would say that.
Okay, that's pretty much the same as me. Just curious to know. Let's talk about Twitch itself. It's the big one that we all have in common. Everyone even
Okay.
watching on Twitch. Shout out to you guys, by the way, for lurking and for being here. Kroko. What's up, Justin? Hi, Michelle. Good seeing y'all.
Hi,
Learning about
Michelle.
Amber out here. All right, talk about the introduction or your introduction to Twitch and how the journey's been so far.
Yeah, so I like to like tell this little story. So during COVID, obviously we were so bored, like we had nothing else to do. So I started playing League of Legends with my like college friends because at the time I only had a MacBook. So I was just playing League with them, and um, I think one day I was just like, I want to build a PC because I'm tired of like playing on this MacBook. So I think obviously using like stimulus money or like EDD money, I built like a PC with it. So I built a PC and then I picked up like Valorant and I met people through like like Discord, I guess, or like Discord servers. So I met like this like group of friends through Discord and Twitch. And at the time I wasn't streaming at like right now or at the time because I just didn't feel confident in like being a streamer.
Yeah.
So I started playing Valorant with them and then they were like, "Oh, Amber, you should start streaming." Like they were streaming too and I was like, "I don't know, I'm kind of like not like I'm like kind of shy but also like not sure if I would do really well as a streamer." So I think eventually I ended up just like saying, "You know what? Let's try it." So I ended up like picking up streaming and I had like a little bit of support from like that group of friends. Unfortunately, I don't talk to those group of friends to anymore, but they did help me out with like how to set up like Stream Labs at the time because I was using Stream Labs. But now I use OBS. They helped me like make like layovers and like just like attaching it to like my Twitch account, and then from there, that's just how I met everyone, like through Twitch and playing games and through Discord online and all that stuff.
Okay, so that's like a general introduction.
Mm-hmm.
So, what kind of streamer would you say you are now? Maybe even like maybe you've gone through like phases beforehand, but talk about that and even add in your schedule right
Okay. Um, I would say at first I didn't want to. I actually didn't want to be an FPS player at all. Like I thought at the time Valorant was so hard. Like I thought
now. It
like I
is.
was like gonna. I thought I was gonna embarrass myself. I didn't like want to stream Valorant. So like my first game I ever streamed was Assassin's Creed.
Oh wow.
So I yeah, so I streamed Assassin's Creed, like just like a story mode game. Like 'cause I'm really at the time when I was younger, I was really into story mode games. Like I even had like my own Wii and I think like a Nintendo DS. So I played like games like Mario Galaxy and like what's it called? Mario Galaxy and like Pokemon. Um and I was just really into story like mode games like that, like single player. But then I just kind of picked up like Valorant, FPS games. But now I play like a lot of other games. Like obviously my main game is Valorant, but I do like recently play Stardew Valley because I've been playing with like a couple friends that we have like our own little farm together. It's pretty fun. It's also like a nice like de-stressor
Chill
from
game.
Valorant.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very
I hear that a
chill.
lot.
Yeah. I play like Fortnite because I like the skins a lot in Fortnite. I just like picked up like the like Avatar Last Airbender skins on there. Like I had like I have an opera glider now. Um, and I play like I actually don't mind scary games. Like I still get scared, but I don't mind playing scary games
Yeah.
if I have friends to play with. And sometimes like League of Legends like ARAM if friends want to play. So I would say like a little bit of variety streamer, yes, I would say I am. Schedule wise, I'm trying to be consistent, so I'm trying to stream like every day and give myself like 1 or 2 day break, but it's kind of like all over the place because I don't really have a consistent schedule. I just depends how I feel, or if I go out like on a weekend, like if I have plans on a Saturday, then I don't stream on that weekend. Like when I went to Dabin, like I didn't stream at all because it was Dabin weekend. So
Oh,
um,
okay.
yeah, pretty much it.
So, what type of streams do you find yourself watching nowadays, and what type of streamers do you usually interact with?
A lot of streams I watch now is like if I have like a mutual friend with like if I'm mutual friends with them.
Yeah.
So like, I watch your streams, Wilson, if you're streaming, or I'll watch like Michelle since she's in the chat, or Drew, or just like if I like talk to you in a conversation
Hmm.
and like they know like they call me by my name, like because a lot my name starts as CookieAmbz, so like a lot of people start off as like they'll call me Cookie, but they don't really like know my name. So if you like know like if you call me Amber and then I'm like okay you know like me personally, so like I'm more gravitated to like talk to you and
Oh,
then
okay.
be able to like conversate with you and stuff. And yeah, mostly like a lot of like if you're playing Valorant, then obviously I'll watch because Valorant's very relatable. But if you play like anything else like Stardew or just like getting to know like if I get to know other people like outside of like our mutual friends, then I try to conversate with them too. So that's where how I talk to people. I'm very like now focused on like trying to now that I'm streaming a lot, I am trying to focus on like talk like networking with other people
Yeah.
like outside of like the people we know. I actually like met some few people like recently through Twitch that like I played comp with and like they don't really stream but like they did come by because like I knew this person, so it was like okay, it's like it's nice to like they have like they came to like my stream and then they even like joined my Discord and they like did like their self introduction. So I felt like really like honored that they were willing to like do that for me. And
Yeah.
it was really sweet.
That's a cool feeling for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, so I know you have more time nowadays, right? Since you're just studying right now, and you said you're trying to pick up more streaming and all that. As of now,
Mm-hmm.
what's like the overall goal for Twitch? Your mindset behind that?
I find Twitch as definitely like a hobby of mine now that I
Yeah.
have a lot more free time. Um, I'm enjoying it. It's definitely a good way to like kind of keep my mind um busy but also calm because when I study a long time, I get really like overwhelmed.
Mm.
So I want to like de-stress and it's nice to like meet people and talk to everyone and um that's like what I want to do is like meet people and like build a community. Eventually, if I become really successful, if not, I support the people that like just generally just like my presence.
Hmm.
And I would like to kind of like a nice little personal goals. I would like to get to 1K. I'm at like 900 something right now.
Let's
So
go!
a
Exclamation
nice like
guest. Follow me. Follow
a
Amber.
nice like 1K would be very
Exclamation
nice.
guest.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't really have like a very like end goal. I just like doing it because it's making me feel good as like like a streamer that I thought like I made a Twitter post about this. Like I took a break obviously for work, right, or for school, right?
Yeah.
Coming back, I really felt discouraged because I didn't think people were gonna watch me because like I've been out of it and like I don't really think I'm that interesting either. So I just thought, oh, people don't really like want to come around. But when I had people come in and like talk to me and like I've been like streaming a lot more and actually people like offline have messaged me saying like you've been grinding like do you need any help or like are you like not help as in like bad but like do you need any like any help in like tips or stuff like
Yeah.
as a streamer and like they would like no come back to my streams when I do stream it's a nice feeling it's a nice feeling like a lot of things are a lot of effort that I'm putting into is like being noticed so that's what I'm generally doing like I'm doing it for fun but also like meeting new people is really nice too because you know me like I'm like when I first met you I am very like I guess like outgoing to meet new people
Yeah.
so like I know eventually like being friends with them is also a really cool thing and just going from there.
Okay, so would you say it's like a hobby that you're just like you mentioned if you get like become successful or something. Like I'm trying to pick your brain on like what that
Okay.
means to you. What is like success on Twitch to you?
Um, hmm. This is definitely a difficult question. I guess success is like having like a loyal group of viewers come
Yeah.
back and like stay in chat, not just say hi and like leave or lurk, whatever, like actually conversate. Cause like I actually had this conversation with my friend recently.
Hmm.
Like, I don't care about how many people watch me, cause I'd rather have people come to my chat and conversate with me. If that's only like 5 people or two, like that, I'd rather take that than like 50 people come in my chat and lurk but say nothing.
Yeah.
And like, I rather have those type of relationships and like connections than just like viewer numbers.
No, that's yep, straight facts. Like it means a lot for sure. So love that mindset. So you're definitely just streaming more and more and you want to see where it goes, but you definitely want to like connect and meet more people. That's what I'm grasping out of this, and that's like the same mindset that I have.
Mhm.
So why do you feel like you have to have a consistent schedule? You said you're gonna be more active and you want like set a schedule for yourself.
Well, to be honest, it's because like I'm not doing much in my personal life right now. So like,
Yeah.
why not just pick up streaming more?
Okay.
And I'm just like streaming more because like it's good to like have a schedule because that way people would be like, okay, it's a Thursday night. Oh, Amber's gonna stream, right? So it's like they'll tune in to watch that versus like kind of sporadic moments where you just don't expect it and they're like, and then people don't really know when you go online. And
Yeah.
I feel like for me, like I'm a little bit both. Like I can be very spontaneous, but also very like scheduled person. So I prefer to have a schedule. That way, like I know what to do. I know how to like what to prepare for it, and like the plans are.
Mm.
That way, it's just easier to just maintain and for like my own like organization, like just for me to like be ready for.
Yeah, yeah. That is like the same mindset. That's like what you basically described that I'm doing.
Really.
I only have podcasts planned, and then every other day it would be like very sporadic. So people won't really like expect me to stream. But if you actually set it in stone and like a time and commit to it, then yeah, you stay busy and this makes you stream more. So I understand that.
Yeah, definitely. It's
Finding that
just
balance.
yeah, finding the balance is definitely key to like anything in life.
So you talked about like meeting people, different communities and stuff, and how you even met more people outside, like that you met through Discord that joined you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Realistically speaking, how easy or difficult is it for you to connect with people nowadays, and how much effort do you really put into like stay in touch with everyone? Because for me, ever since
Okay.
like I started going back to work, it dropped significantly.
Yeah.
Like it feels like the circle's been the same, which I don't mind at all. But before that, I was constantly meeting like someone new every single day, and we would just be in each other's streams. But now I barely even lurk. Like that's how it is realistically. Like if I
Yeah.
chat in your chat, that's a rare occasion. So what are your thoughts about that? Your mindset?
I'm kind of like the same now, to be honest. Like I think when I'm gonna put age into this factor, to be honest. So when I was younger, I was really like focused on like meeting connections and like talk like meeting people like in person after finding out if they're like in the general area. That's kind of how like I feel like how that's how I met you and some other friends. Now like my current boyfriend now. I met him through Twitch too. And like same thing with raves. Like I was like similar with raves. Like I would meet like people through different friends, and then I would go to like an event with them or something, and then I would talk to them like that too. And then now I'm such like a low key homebody now. I still go out here and there, but because like I'm getting a little bit older and I'm getting more tired, I do like stay home and I stream more and play games because it's just like kind of more comfortable to be like at home versus going out so much. Just because I've done it so long in my life, like my past life now that I'm just getting tired. Um, so right now I am trying to like just talk to people through like Discord or like through streams now. When I have the time, because right now I am also studying too.
Yeah.
So when I study, like I want to make sure I have like enough time to study, like be fully focused, and then like switch into like interacting on Twitch and stuff.
Yeah.
Because when I'm like studying, I don't like to like stop and be interrupted because then I lose track. So I have to like go back into studying. So that's what we're at this point.
Yeah, your mindset changes depending on like how busy you are with life and your priorities. So I get that.
Yeah.
I do want to address Jason and Drew real quick. I always stop by your chats. I always just lurk and I don't say anything. So I just want that to be clear. All right, I see y'all. I see y'all. It
Thank
just
you,
so
Jason.
happened.
Thank you, Drew.
It just so happens that Vinny was like on my account and actually messaged. But I'm always in your chats, okay? And
Wait,
sometimes
what?
I raid, okay?
That's crazy.
No. It's like jokes, but I'm being honest. Like I do lurk for everybody. I know
Okay.
y'all are just trolling. It's just funny to me. I would open like 50 tabs and I would go one by one and I would say hi, what's up, blah blah blah, for like 5 minutes in each chat before I even hop on stream. That was me back then, but now I don't have as much time or energy.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that a little bit now, but it's so hard when like you follow so many people and then it's kind of like you don't want to just like say hi and then like leave.
Yes.
You want to like try a conversation with them.
Facts.
But then it's like you don't have enough time. Like, and plus like honestly my computer's not the best. So like
Yeah.
having 50 tabs open is like really hard on my CPU. So like I try to like limit like certain amount of people just because of that reason. Like even when I'm streaming, I have to lower it to like 160 cuz like 60 like whatever p whatever cuz like it's that like intensive for my computer. So I can't like have like a stream lurking like all streams lurking at the same time while I'm streaming.
Yeah. No, like I was for sure so dedicated, like dead ass. Like if I'm talking to people, like I have 20 tabs open and I'm like, okay, after I talk to these 20 people, I'm gonna start stream. While I'm talking to 20 people, more people hop online and start their stream. So I'm like, fuck, all right, I gotta open these tabs now and talk to them. And then I would probably like spend like 3 hours before I start streaming, and people are like, why are you starting stream at 12 a.m.? I'm like, I was talking to people. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely relatable.
Good times,
like
good times.
Yeah, I know now, like with you work, so it's harder to do that. Like
Yeah.
right now, I obviously have more free time, so I'm kind of doing that, but right now again it's just too much. Like I need to like I usually stream around nighttime because that's usually when I'm like done with my day and I run my errands and like I study during the day so I could have some fun time at night, like downtime at night. But it's
Yeah.
just like really hard to like talk to everyone when you want to like stream at like right around 6 or 7 after I eat because that's
Nice.
like I don't want to be hungry while I'm streaming, so like
Mm.
that's the time I would stream.
And it's like peak hours of streaming when people like start like streams and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
I do appreciate whenever you stop by though. You actually stop by and say something a lot. Like even if it's not a lot, it's still something.
I would do it while I'm streaming,
Yes,
actually.
I know. I'd like click and I'm like, oh my god, you're streaming. Yeah,
Well, cause
so
like for me and you, like we've met a few times. We hung out at a few events. We even went to EDC together. Like I feel like we have a really decent like relationship.
yeah.
So I want to support my friends. And I guess like to me I'm like I'm a little bit of people pleaser, but also like I really am just like I think I'm a pretty loyal friend. So like I want to like be there for my friends and support them through like, through streaming or like whatever whatever achievements they have.
Yeah. Much appreciated. Like it goes both ways. It's like you've become like some of like the comfort friends I have. So like honestly speaking, like it's so easy to just like drop by your chats whenever. Like there's like a level of commitment, like you said, when you talk to people and then they like talk back to you and you just stay in their chats to talk more and more. With friends,
Mhm.
it's like they understand if I say what's up and just disappear,
Right.
right?
No.
but I gotta like stay dialed in with like new friends or something, that people that don't really know who I am. So just
No, I
that
get it.
mindset is very different. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I get it. It's just I don't know, like I said, you're like for me, like for example, for me and you, like I invited you to my birthday. Like I would
Yeah.
consider you like one of like my like top friends to like hang out with IRL and like to be there while you're streaming just because like we do have that connection. So I would take the time to spend time with the people I care about and like general relation like friendships with.
Yeah, appreciate that again. And guys, thanks for being here. So, geez, Jason, Eunice, hi guys. Learning more
Hello.
and more about Amber right here.
Hi
Okay,
Janice, Jace, how you this?
appreciate you guys. So, on the topic of streaming still,
Mm-hmm.
um, streaming's fun for the most part. It's great, right? But
Yeah.
what's like the downside about it? What are the cons? Things that affect you or have?
Um, I'm definitely tired a lot more. Like, I'm not gonna lie, there's days where like I just don't want to like turn on cam because I'm just like I don't look really good or like I just don't feel like showing my face, so I get really tired, so I just throw in my PNG. But there are times where like I do want to show my face, but um I would say like the pressures of being a female definitely definitely come into play because like I can't like, you know, face can stream and just be in glasses and with my hair up. Like I do have to look a little bit presentable. Um, I know people are like, why don't you just become like a VTuber or anything like that? But like I just do generally like to show my face. Like, so I take the time to like clean up a little bit, make my bed, show my plushies off. Actually they're actually there all the time. But yeah, make my bed. And downside of like other things not relating to my appearance, like it is time consuming, I would say. I definitely think there's times where I do have like that guilt where I'm like I should be studying. I really should be studying. But I'd be like playing Valorant for like 5 hours because like I like the streaming and like I like playing comp and I love like, a lot of friends that work during the day, so when the only free time they can play comp is like at nighttime like this. So that's like my only time I can play with them. And just like a lot of like little criticism like people coming in and saying like, like either criticizing your gameplay or criticizing like your like stream, like or like just anything like that. So those are like the like problems I've faced while
Yeah.
streaming.
Okay. No, I understand that. everyone wants to be like decently presentable, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to streaming. So yeah, that's totally fair. Because you have like your own, standard for yourself, and I also want to talk about like having schedules, right?
Yeah.
It probably would suck. I know it happens to some people. It sucks when you have something planned, but you have to like cancel because you're just like absolutely drained and stuff, and then there's like a lot of mental that goes into it because you feel like you're letting yourself down or letting your community down. Because
Yeah.
it is draining, like without a doubt. Because realistically, you like how would you describe it? Like as if the camera was off versus just being on camera. You feel more inclined to add more energy, right? Because if I turn the camera off now, right now, I'm not talking like not like exerting this much energy, communicating as much. So
Yeah.
it is different. I'm sure that's the same for you.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, like when I don't have cam on, I feel like people can't really see your like reaction or
Motions and
expressions.
stuff, or yeah, expressions.
Yeah,
Sorry.
expressions, yeah, like all that stuff. So when I have cam on, people can see that, and it's kind of like more interactive. Like they can see that you're looking at chat. They can see that you're like being engaging versus like having camera off where you don't really see get to see that.
Yeah, just your voice.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like I'm the same as you. Like I really do try to have face cams most of the time. So it's like 99% of my streams are face cam anyways. And if
Yeah.
I don't feel like it, then I just wouldn't stream. But I guess it's up to you if you really want to have like that YouTuber or PNG tuber.
Yeah, like what you said earlier, like I feel like now that I'm kind of like on a streaming high,
Yeah.
I feel very like guilty if like I don't have my camera on sometimes because like I feel like I'm letting people down or like, you know, like I want to be able to engage with them fully. Like there was one stream where I did not want to show my face at all or my hair was just not in a good hair day, so I threw a hat on, but I still streamed with face cam because I was
Yeah.
like I feel like I need to like, you know, be presentable in some way.
Hmm. Got you, got you. Yeah, and then he talked about the other negatives. Like sometimes people are just like trolls are just like being super negative,
Oh
especially when
yeah,
it comes to gaming.
yeah, especially like yesterday, some like troll came on my stream and was like asking for my number. I was like, I felt like, and then like to me, I'm a very like awkward person, so I
Yeah.
didn't really know how to react. I was just like, sure, you could send like, sure, sir, like send me a message. I will, talk to you later. And like RJ even messaged me and he was like, "Do you need help?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know how to like respond to this." So,
Okay.
uh, so
Shout out RJ.
yeah, RJW mod. Yeah,
Yeah, for
so
checking in.
I just didn't really know how to respond to that. And the funny thing is I had a PNG too. Like I didn't have my camera on. I had my PNG on and my selfie.
Yeah.
But like the guy still persisted and I was just like I don't know how to like respond to this.
I see. I see. Okay, so other than like the trolls and just like people are just whatever sometimes, mostly good, mostly
Yeah.
great individuals out there, but just some could be interesting, unique.
Yes.
Do you ever struggle with like anything else? Because what I typically hear would be like the numbers, the metrics, because once you see it go up, you kind of have like set standards for yourself, even though maybe you shouldn't, depending on what
Yeah.
your goal is. But like, how has that realistically affected you? You talked about how you'd rather have people that are active in your chat versus like having a dead chat, and then also
Yeah.
talk about what it's like to go through stream with like a dead chat sometimes. It can be
Yeah,
lonely at times, realistically.
definitely. Yeah, that's actually like another like factor into streaming. I forgot to mention it, but now that you mentioned it, I remembered. Like I said, I took a big break from streaming because of school.
Yeah.
I like would say I've been on Twitch like for like 3 years, 4 years now, but I took like a lot of breaks in between because of school. So when I was like coming back to streaming, I was really like nervous to see like the viewer count and like to see like a dead chat. And I do have dead chats here and there. And I typically try to hide the viewer count because like I know if I keep seeing it, it gives me a lot of anxiety. So I kind of like have like a lot of like moments like that where I'm just like, oh, is it because like I'm not interacting with chat as much, or is it because like, you know, I'm not entertaining, or like people don't want to like come by because like they don't they have something against me? Like there is times where like I do feel like I feel like I'm not like at my best when like I don't see like certain people come to like my stream, and like I hate to say this, but sometimes I do compare because like I'd be like, oh, you know, like I go to their stream, but then they come to me. But I do appreciate the people that I've met recently or just like through streaming that do come to my chat and they like talk to me. And like I just have to remind myself that I'm very grateful of like those people or like what I have, then try to compare myself to like others because like I know I can't be like super successful and just like, you know, um wishing that the same success for me. Like I have to do
Yeah.
my own, like I have to do this in my own way, in my own terms.
No, well said. It comes down to what you have like set for yourself, whether it's
Yeah.
expectations or like your own goals. I feel
Yeah.
like my mindset has definitely changed, and life is like so much easier on Twitch, knowing that my overall goal is to just connect with people and just to like make friends and nothing more. You know, like not really aiming for financial gain or just like career out of this. And because of that mindset, it's like I used to be very conflicted because like when you start taking it more seriously, like how you said, making a schedule is like the bare minimum. But
Yeah.
when you have like set standards for yourself along the way, it really messes with you. And then sometimes I would be like, on one side I'd be like, I'm so blessed because no matter when I hop on stream, doesn't matter when, people will be there. I have my friends that'll always be there. But at the
Yeah.
same time, it's like when I promote and like try to do all these things, I think really negatively at times where I say like, okay, maybe I just won't stream today. But then the mindset that comes with that is like, realistically, I don't think anyone would give a shit if I don't stream today. Like,
Yeah.
it's a good and bad thing. It's a good thing because then whenever I do stream, someone will be there. But it's a bad thing. It's like I'm setting these standards for myself, but realistically, people won't really care. There's no like push factor or outside driving factor to like make me want to do this, go this route. It's just all on me.
I
So
definitely agree with that.
yeah, so I guess moving forward, I know that you have your own like expectations on what you want to do since you have free time.
Mhm.
Just hope you'll be able to balance like the positives and negatives for sure.
Yeah, definitely now like I'm trying to not expect everything like people like certain people or like people like everything in my life. Like I know like I can get pretty negative about like, you know, uh like expectations of people coming in or coming out and like talking to me, but like I'm trying my best to be like not compare myself to another person or like expect like okay, they're going to come by when I pop stream, but like the same thing, like kind of like preaching what you said, like honestly if I don't stream that day, people don't even really care. Like I'll just stream another day, and if I do stream like a day and the people come by, then like, you know, I am just truly grateful. So I really like really agree with what you had to say. I do really like what you had to say about that.
Yeah, that's like it's become like the reality of today for me. So that's why I was just saying that.
Yeah.
But other than that,
Okay.
so you're streaming. I've known you for a bit. I've seen you in person. How would
Uh-huh.
you compare yourself as a streamer versus yourself in person? Like, because when you're online, people can only know so much about you, right?
Yeah.
You don't know like what you people don't know who you are offline. So how would you compare if there's any differences?
Hmm. Um, like I said in the beginning, I think I can kind of be shy. Like obviously like people think when you're a streamer you're like really like talkative and outgoing, but
Yeah.
I feel like there are times where I'm really shy and I just like don't say much. But on the most part, like if you get to know me, I'm pretty much the same. Like I'm very like willing to talk to people and getting to know people on a personal level and like outgoing and like just try to be like friendly toward everyone. Um I guess like that's like the best I can answer it because I don't really know how to like I don't really know what else I could that's different about me. I feel
Yeah,
like I'm
yeah.
pretty much the same besides being shy because like I can be at times.
Yeah, you probably just need like an outside perspective then.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Cuz
Like
like
what do you,
for me
I was gonna say
too.
what are you thinking?
Okay, okay. So for me, you're right. It's like it's your own platform in your own space, so you're more comfortable and you're more inclined to like talk and just like controlled conversation and stuff. But like for like on the outside though, if I were to meet people, like let's say non-rave and partying settings, right? If
Yeah.
I were to meet people then, I think people would have the perception that I'm introverted, which is very interesting. Because then to maybe you and like people that we're close with already might think I'm very extroverted based on like stream and then when we go out these events. So that's like how I'd compare my public perception versus like how I am in person.
I agree. Like I guess like a good example for me too is like Twitch and Instagram. Like my Instagram looks like I go out a lot and I
Yeah.
go like around different areas. I travel and stuff and I'm very like outgoing, but then when you get to know me, I'm kind of like quiet. Um, you know. So it's very like perception basically.
Oh, that's true. Perception. And Charles, thank you. Thank you for the reset for 32 months. I appreciate you, man.
Woo!
Thank you so
Let's
much.
go,
Hope you're
Leah
doing well.
boy.
Yeah, I don't want to compare it to like raves and events because it's always like the liquid courage, or I just feel more inclined to like talk to people and stuff. But then, yeah, who knows? Maybe I'll meet someone new outside and then get their perspective.
Okay. Have you haven't like met anyone outside yet that kind of like told you that at all?
I met someone recently,
Okay.
just like through a mutual friend,
Uh-huh.
and they were like I've never met them online, even though they
Mhm.
are online, and they just told me that they're just like seem like you're such a shy and quiet person.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
How'd you
but then
feel about that?
I was I was surprised, but I understood. I understood why, and like it's because when we're outside in group settings, meeting new people, I'm more of like a sit back and observe type of person. Like
Yeah.
I'm not like upfront, talkative, loud like to the group. I kind of just
Right.
like get the feel of like the vibe from everyone first before like putting myself out
Yeah. It's kind of funny. So obviously like my friends and like streaming, I'm very like talkative, but in nursing school, I was actually really quiet. Like a lot of my classmates in my cohort were like, "Amber, you're like very quiet." And like when they first meet me, they think like I don't like, like I'm not like a different personality.
there. Not sociable.
Um yeah, I guess not like sociable. They just think I'm, quiet.
Mhm.
And it was funny like when we were doing our last like rotation and doing like a review, like a final review from our preceptor,
Yeah.
my preceptor was like, "You're quiet and you speak really slow and like low tone, but you are very assertive. Like you do ask questions when needed." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I thank
Interesting.
you, I guess." And she was like, "Yeah, cuz like I guess like there was just like like four like little Asian girls that just, were stayed together cuz we were just like really shy."
Oh.
And she was like, "Yeah, you're very assertive. You're definitely not like the other girls where you're very like passive, but you are more assertive, but you're just shy. Like you're more quiet." I'm like, "Okay, I don't know how to take this, but it was a good I guess it was a compliment, I guess."
Yeah.
And then um my classmates, we ended up like all following each other like on Instagram like after our class like our school ended. And when they found like my Instagram and they saw like I went to all these raves and stuff, they were like, "Wow, you go to raves, Amber?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then they were like, "What? I didn't expect this out of you the whole year." And I was like, "Yeah, I just, I'm just really quiet and like, I don't really like say much in my personal life, outside of nursing." I just didn't really, it was just never brought up. So they were just surprised to see that side of me.
Okay. Yeah. So that's like a good comparison of like different environments, um, like whether it's work, school, online, Twitch, and then just like events or just like social.
Yeah.
That's a good example. Okay, let's talk about friendships specifically. Getting into the nitty gritty details of this.
Sure.
For you, what do you value in a friendship, and what does it take to be like a close friend of yours?
Um, so what I value in a friendship is basically like loyalty. If like I could trust you with like anything I need, or like if like we got each other's back, that would be like my number one. Also kind of like if we like vibe pretty well, like if we have the same taste of like interest or music or like anything like that, um and just like communication. Like I kind of don't really like being friends with people that are like either really flaky or inconsistent, or like don't really like really or really like bad at like messaging each other.
Yeah,
So those are
communication.
like my yeah, three mains. But yeah, like I do like the loyalty just because like I definitely want to be able to like count on them, and then in the return like they can count on me. Like mentioned before, I'm a pretty like I would say I'm a pretty loyal friend. Like I would, be there for my friends if they need me or if they need to talk to me whenever. Like I would take like time out of my day to like talk to them. Like my high school friend now, um I've known her since high school, and we live in completely different states, right? So she lives in Arizona, I live in Cali. But I would like make time to like talk to her like at least 2 to 3 times a week on her days off. And if she ever needed like to vent about something, like I would be there for her and listen to her. Like she literally, like the other day, she literally like vented her whole like workplace, like issues at her work. And I really wanted to stream. Like I really wanted to stream that night, but she was like venting a lot about her work. So at that night, I think it was like a Monday night, I just decided not to stream because I was like, I need to be there for my friend and listen to what she has to say because she was really frustrated. So I didn't stream that day because of that. And you know, and she really communicates too. Like she not the best texter, but she does call me and she would tell me like about her day and like what's going on, and then I would tell her about my day. So that's like what I value in friendship is like loyalty, communication, and what's the other one I even said? Uh, crap, I forgot what I said.
That's dope. So you basically said that you're willing to drop whatever you have planned, whatever you're doing to like be able to support your friend.
Yeah, like yeah, those are the main
Basically,
two.
but you
And
need
just if
that
oh a vibe,
communication.
I think if like we also like are very similar or just like get along, I think that's what I value in friendship.
Okay, so those are great traits for sure, without a doubt. Um, do you have like specific levels to your friendships, like how you would categorize it in your head? Because I know it's not like a typical thing to say out loud, but realistically, people have like, there's different layers of friendships. One you could feel kind of acquainted to, someone who you might be comfortable with, but not necessarily close. Then there's close
Mhm.
friends, and then best friends, right? So, like, how would you describe your friend groups?
Yeah, so I would say I have like different friend groups. So I would say I would have like my like personal life, so like my like college friends, my high school friends, where I don't really like talk about streaming with them. Like it's just more like personal life, like what's going on with our like work or what's going on with our family life or what activity we're like into. So that would be like one part of my like part of my friend groups. I don't know if there's like layer to like I would kind of like all the same, like in the same category.
Yeah.
And then I have like my Twitch friends where it's like where I talk to you guys and like I hang out with you guys and sometimes we rave together. Um, and then I have like my other friends in Cali, California that like I do rave with them and we go to like events together. But I don't talk to them again about Twitch stuff because like they're not streamers.
Yeah.
So those are like my three main groups I would say are like my friends.
Then you just have like specific friends that are just more close to, right? And
Yeah, so I would say my best friend from high school that like we have like a long distance friendship. We talk like like at least like 3 times a week or 2 times a week. And then we have like my like I would call them my party friends. I'm calling them my party friends. My party friends. So like we talk about like events, or if we have like we're bored, we want to go like to eat a Korean barbecue or something, or we go to a rave. That's like my party friends.
Yeah.
And then like my Twitch friends are just like Twitch friends. So like if we like go bowling or go to round one and hang out, you guys like would hit you guys up, and sometimes rave together.
Okay. For you, how much do you need, like, from the other person to maintain like a close friendship? Do you think you could go, okay, let's say months or years without talking to someone and like still be like really close, or what's your like thought process behind all
So with friends, I know that everyone's busy, so I don't expect to like constant communication with those friends because like, people got like lives now. There's people that have kids, married, work. Like I don't expect them to like contact with me every day or like every month. Like, we kind of just like if we have time for each other, we'll make time to talk to each other. If not, you know, it's a good time that when we do hang out and talk, it's a good time. It kind of feels like, like time has passed, but it's a good conversation starter to start off with. Um, so I don't really need like a lot of consistency. Like I just need to know like, hey, if like I comment on something on your story, or if like I message you one day, like, we can just catch up from there. Then.
everyone's busy, and I feel like as we're adults, like as the years go by, it feels like you're living a different life every few years.
Yeah.
Everyone's like a different pace and just like onto different things, whether it's hobbies or lifestyles. So, question for you. It's like a very random question.
Sure.
Say like we're super close right now,
Okay.
right? Like we're very
Uh-huh.
very close. Could talk about anything. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And then let's say 5 years from now, like within those 5 years, we don't talk like whatsoever. So at that point, we might be at different stages in our life,
Uh-huh.
right? Let's say you're getting married. Would I be
Okay.
invited to the wedding?
Absolutely.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why do you think so? If we haven't talked in 5 years, like, is this recency bias because I'm talking to you now and like we're good now? But like, I'm thinking like down the line, would you realistically?
I would say so. I would say because like I feel like me and you definitely have like a good relationship where if I ever need to talk to you about something, you're willing to listen. Like even if 5 years pass, I know you as a person well enough to know that you are a loyal friend, that I could go to you if you need anything or if you got my back. Just like, and you're very like real. Like I really like what I like hanging around you is like I enjoy like your presence. Like you definitely give like a really nice like cool vibe. You're really funny too, and like you're and like sometimes you're really sarcastic humor is really fun. So I just enjoy like the time that we do have together. And if 5 years pass and like I get married, like you would, and I would say why not? Because like I'm sure like there's other friends that would enjoy like talking to you if like they met you the first time, because you definitely like have a very welcoming like energy toward you.
Okay, I appreciate that. Appreciate that. Just curious about like different type of friendships, your thought process about these.
Yeah.
Okay, so have you? Well, I'm sure you had, but talk about some of the fallouts you've had with people that you were probably close to once, and just like the reasoning behind that, and also talk about like the flip side, the icks, what bothers you. Well,
Um. Yeah. So I would say, I guess going on a personal level, growing up, I definitely had a little hard time keeping friendships because one, I moved around a lot. Two, like like being an only child, I feel like there's a lot of things through communication I'd never picked up as like people with siblings. And like with people with siblings, they're easier to like talk to, and like you can read emotion and kind of can read the room. for me, like I kind of struggle with that growing up because I never had like like a sibling or like someone near me all the time to like tell me, like, hey, this is not appropriate to say, or like read the room if like this shouldn't be asked. Um, so I think I definitely went through a lot of friendships growing up. Like, I don't I don't have like the same friends through elementary school and high school. I started off like with a one group of friends, and then like graduating from high school, I end up with a different group of friends.
Yeah.
Same thing with college. Um, College was also kind of like the similar where like you think you go into college with like your friend you met back in like regular English or regular biology, whatever. But then you end up graduating with like a friend in like a different like college or like field. So same thing with Twitch. I feel like with Twitch, I definitely like I said when I first started Twitch, I met like a group of friends through like Discord and Twitch, and they helped me out and they helped me get like to affiliate. But then when time passed, like I'm not friends with them anymore because like they kind of had like their own reasons of like the friendship falling out, and then now like I'm friends with like a lot of different people. And for me, it's like I took it personally because like I really value friendship because like I guess it's kind of like the absence of not having siblings is like you value like people that's close to you. So when I lost when I had a falling out, it was really hard for me to like like get over it quickly. So I definitely now like have like a thicker skin from all those fallouts and like all those friendships that were in my past and to this current day, like try my best to like keep strong and like move forward because like now I have that mentality that friends come and go. And then people who are meant to be in your lives serve their purpose and were in your life for a reason. And now like there's different people in your life are serving you for that purpose, for that reason, for the current moment.
Yeah. Damn, that was so real and deep.
Yeah.
Huge agreement to that. Wow. Whew, well said, well said.
Thanks. And I'm actually like kind of like getting emotional about
I
it
know,
because like
I feel it, I feel it.
because I'm thinking of like all the people that like were in my life, even relationships. I had a very long committed relationship and I thought like that was end goal, and then, life happens and now I'm not in that relationship anymore, but you know, it served my purpose in my at the time. So, now I'm in a better place and I'm like okay, I appreciate what I have now and the people that's around me.
I could definitely see like why you're very highly inclined to like maintain friendships. Like I see the effort you put into, so especially with planning, because not a lot of people like to plan, and I feel like you've been on top of that. So appreciate you for that.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned before, like when moving to California, it was hard having friends because like you're in a new city, a new area that you're not familiar with. So, when it was at the time I was a lot younger and more energetic. I was like putting so much energy to like driving to these places that are like 40 minutes to an hour to for where I live just to like hang out with people.
Yeah.
And I kind of still do that now because of like how far I live, but like I do it because like now I have like good, group of friends that I'm willing to do it for, and like they know that that I do this kind of effort, and like, you know, and they appreciate it.
That's the talk about friendships. Um, just to like wrap it up, like and base it off of you specifically. What do you think makes you like a really really good friend in your own words?
Um, hmm. I guess like I'm gonna use loyal again. I'm very loyal. I definitely try my best to like, you know, catch up with friends or like support them through whatever they're going through, whether it's streaming, whether it's like, you know, going to like a birthday or whatever. Um, I also think like I just enjoy like I'm a very like what do they call it? Like I like if the energy is fun and positive, I exert that same energy. So like I enjoy it like I don't know what's called. Um but I do the same thing. Like I'm if like the energy is like good, then I'll also exert the same energy and then have a good time with them. Like you said before, pretty good at like scheduling. I definitely can schedule if when needed, cause but if it's also spontaneous, like I'm willing to do it too because like I can be an impulsive person too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so yeah,
Props.
like uh it's just I think I'm a really good friend overall, like well-rounded. If anyone needs me, I'm there, phone call away, uh like I don't even know how to describe it. I just think like I'm just really like loyal person as a friend because I want to be there for them because I know like they're in a time of need because like I was like going like I had like history of like mental health like being feeling alone and I never and obviously as an only child like you feel alone all the time so
Yeah.
when you're alone it's like a shitty feeling so I want to like make sure that my friends don't feel the same way like they have support and love from people they care about because like I advocate for like mental health I want to make sure like they're in like a safe place and being able to be there for them is just good enough for anything.
Yeah. That they have someone in you. So,
Yeah.
I love that. Love that you could be very open and vulnerable about this too.
Mhm.
Um,
It's definitely like I'm definitely like I open up when you ask me questions and I'm okay to like talk about it because I went through so many life experiences that it taught me so many lessons that like it got me to where I am now.
yeah.
And I'm like, I went through the shitty parts of life, I went through the highs of life, lows, and I am definitely like
Still
the
going
person
through more.
yeah, still going through more and I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I'm still getting older, wiser. That's just how life is.
Now, another reason as to why I like having these like one-on-one talks, and like sometimes when you stream, you just don't. There's no actual way for you to open up and like say these things unless I don't know naturally comes up. I don't know how it would naturally come up though, but this is why I ask questions.
Yeah.
It allows you to think deep and just to like really self-reflect. Yeah, whatever stories, experiences you have that comes up, just feel free to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, even now, like, I should have texted you this, but I'm pretty open. Like, any questions you want to, like, ask me, like, whether it's friendships or, like, relationships or, like, even, like, tough situations, like, I'm pretty open to, like, share my
Yeah,
story,
yeah.
just because, like, I'm hoping if anyone who watches this stream, like, they can relate to what I went through and, like, you know, can just relate and be able to share their experiences and like their perspective. Also, like, um, I realized like through streaming, one friend told me recently that the good way to like talk to people, get to know people, is being like personal. It's like being personal about yourself because people generally enjoy those like personal conversations than like a dry like regular conversations because it shows a lot of like vulnerability but also like a lot of like respect
Yeah.
for the person that's willing to share these stories with them.
It's another reason why I just haven't been in the mood to like play games and stuff personally. I just like doing these, like just talking to people and just learning about people.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And I'm surprised cuz like when I first met you, I know like you were really into like just chatting and having these tourneys. And I think like when you had your original podcast, like
yeah,
the first podcast, I did apply, but I didn't know if that was more toward like active streamers and like I honestly don't remember what your old podcast was like. I
uh,
don't know if that was more like trying to understand how to grow as a streamer, or like what was like the foundation of that one versus now your podcast now is more like personal level? Are you like able to kind of explain like the reason for the change and like what you think of it?
It was honestly more so about the same. I just honestly, it's the same, but I'm just trying to do like different spin-offs and twists with this one. I also changed like the title and the design, so the rebrand goes more so. It's more so for like the looks and just the name of it. If I'm being real.
Okay.
Yeah, but for
Okay.
the most part, everything else is like very similar to like what I asked, but I had like different sets of like structures and questions to ask. Like I've adapted, so now that I've done like so many episodes, there's like more specific things I want to ask people and want to
Yeah.
know, and then I kind of go off of like what you have to say.
Yeah. Definitely when you first asked me, I was kind of hoping I would be in like a better place in my life. Well, more like career-wise, like
Yeah,
working as a full-time nurse, so I can talk more about like personal experiences as a nurse, but I was okay with talking about where I am now because I think it's very important to like see where I started off from, and then like, you know, maybe a year or two I can, when I'm like in actual working field in like a nursing field, like I can like like backtrack and be like, okay, like I achieved so much from where I first started, and you know, I'm grateful for like being able to like share these experiences and these moments with like an audience, and it's just like a great achievement or like a great achievement in general to like prove myself wrong. I think like the most relatable quote I've been told recently was, you don't want to be the same person you were a year ago.
okay. Constantly growing, maturing. Yeah,
Yeah.
feel that. And one thing that you said, which some other people have said before, is like in the beginning you feel like you're not interesting or you don't have much to say about yourself. You said like your life is boring where you're at, but realistically, like from an outside perspective or for other people, they don't know you, so everything is new and interesting because everyone lives their lives differently. You have so much to say based on your experiences, so it's nice to just hear your story.
Thank you. I
And
appreciate that.
with that being said, we're gonna continue. Do you need a break
Yeah.
before we continue?
No, but do you?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay.
Okay, we were talking about friendships, but we're gonna move over to relationships.
Okay.
So this could definitely be deep. I understand that.
Right.
Just do your best, and I'll ask you other things. But
Sure.
talk about your like the history of your relationships. You could go by
Okay.
like how you guys met, what happened, how it ended, what you're currently or where you're currently at, etc.
Okay. Sure. Um, okay. So I guess we'll start off with like my first official boyfriend.
Okay.
So my first official boyfriend was when I was in high school as a freshman. I met like this guy. He was like a junior. And he like I think we met like at some like Asian club because like at my high school, since like my high school was kind of like I'm like a minority in the high school. They made like this like Asian like interaction club. It didn't really like become really successful. I think a lot of people actually ended up like not showing up, so the club actually like closed. But I met him through there, and like we I had like a huge crush on him because I thought he was cute. So I like continually talked to him to see if like he would get to know me and I would get to know him, and we like talked, and I think we end up dating, like, and like because it was like a high school and I was a freshman, like I didn't have a car. It was kind of like a high school relationship where like we saw each other at school and that was it. But then I think he got his license because he's a little bit older than me, so he got his license and he got like a car. But at the time my mom was still kind of strict. Uh, so I like was very limited to what I could do with him, like hanging out wise. And yeah, so I was very limited to what I could do with hanging out with him wise. So I think because of like that, we just ended up like breaking up. And then But what's crazy is that he had a friend, and then the friend, like I was, okay. So the story was, him and it was like senior year or junior year, whatever. I don't really remember. It was prom or something. So, they had prom, and his friend was like had a crush on my friend at the time. My friend is a sophomore and he was a junior. So my friend or that friend was really like didn't really know how to approach girls or didn't really know how to like interact with girls. So like like he was like needing help to like ask my friend out to prom, whatever. So I was like, okay, I'll help you like, ask like the friend, like my friend to prom. So I was like giving him tips on like how to like, what interests she likes, like how to approach her, how to talk to her. He ended up like going to prom with her. But in like the time that they like went to prom, like I started to like talk to him more and get to know him as a friend. And then I guess like they end up not like they just went to prom together. That's it. They didn't like date. He did have a crush on her though. So I think he ended up like admitting his feelings to her, and then she ended up just saying no. So he was kind of like sad about that. So he started to talk to me about like how sad he was and how devastated he was, and as we were talking, I think that's when the feelings started to gain a little bit, like on my side and his side, and I ended up just like hanging out with him naturally, and then we ended up dating. And from that relationship, that actually lasted 5 years.
Oh.
So, um, I got with him, my second boyfriend, uh, I think like my sophomore year of high school, and he was a senior. Or it was like I met him junior year, like his junior year, my freshman year, and then we ended up dating for like sophomore to senior. And then he went to college, and I was like, finishing up my high school, and we still kept like a relationship. He commuted from home, from college to home, so it was just easier to like talk to him. I know like we did get busy, but like I was able to talk to him without any worry of like him, being on campus like for so long. And then he ended up like helping me get into like Arizona State. So he like what's it called? We end up like keeping our relationship with that.
Yeah.
And then when it was my time to go to college, me and him carpooled for every day, like Monday through Friday from like 9 a.m. all the way to like 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. because like we lived in the same city from our high school. So it was just easier to like carpool together because we could take the carpool lane and like drive. And we would just like we would go to the classes and meet in between classes, and then like do that regular routine every day. So that relationship lasted 5 years. But then it kind of tragically ended. I don't remember when. I can't remember. It was like 2018 or something. I was pretty devastated. Uh, Only because um that relationship was traumatic on me because he ended up dating my best friend, my ex best friend at the time. So after I found that out, I was kind of just like, that's when I was kind of deciding to move to California. I was like, I'm done. Like, I am done with like Arizona. I'm done with people like there. I was done with the lifestyle there. So I moved from Arizona to Cali. And for a long time, I would say a very long time, I was kind of just like single. I was like dating people, but not really like full on committed with them. Um, because I guess like I don't know, guys are weird. They just didn't want to commit. I don't know why. They just didn't want to like make it serious. And then after that, I am now met my current boyfriend. I met him through Twitch. We play Valorant together. And his name is Koi Boy in the chat. And he said earlier that he said, remember, whatever she says, she flirted first. Remember that, chat. That is not true. There's a whole story behind that. I will get into that if you want to ask me questions about that. And yeah, so we dated last year in May. It's actually gonna be a year soon, next week on the
Ooh,
14th. We'll be together for a year.
let's
So
go.
so I was single. I will tell you the number. I was single for 5 years before I got into my current relationship, which is now. So that's my little history. It's kind of very short. I would say the in between when I was single, that 5 year single gap to
Yeah.
like now, I was very spontaneous. I went on like a lot of dates. I talked to people, but it wasn't serious. Um, just stuff like that. Just getting to meet people, like that was like in between where from now to then.
Hey, okay. All right, questions. So,
Okay.
the 5-year relationship that you had, you said it tragically ended. What do you mean by that?
Basically, like I kind of mentioned, I thought that was gonna be my last relationship. Like I literally
Oh,
like
future.
thought we were yeah, I thought he was my future. I
Yeah.
thought like we were gonna be together for a very long time. Um and the sad like we were together for 5 years, but the last year we were together, we were long distance. So I thought like then we could like work it out and make it through, but a lot of things happened and we ended up like he ended up breaking up with me, and I was like unaware of it. Like I didn't expect it at all because like I thought like we would be able to work things out
Yeah.
and like you know go through everything, but it ended up just not like working out the way I wanted it to be. And it did take like a personal toll on me because like I would say like I told you before, like I carpooled with him every day was to school.
Yeah.
We would hang out like together like in between classes, and then after he would like talk to me like or even after school we'd hang out. So we were together for a lot of times. And to kind of like have your like partner all of a sudden like not in your life anymore, someone that you're constantly with and like you're like just like a regular routine with them, it just like hurt a lot, and I just didn't expect that. And you know
Absolutely.
it just like definitely was like one of the most traumatic experiences in my life because like as you guys know, like as an only child, I didn't have like a lot of close personal relationships with people, like with like a sibling or anything like that. So that was like my first like real relationship that I thought I had a really close connection with, and when it didn't work out, it just like it felt like a lot of like myself was taken away from me.
Yeah. Your deepest connection, basically.
Yeah. And but also like, I was really young too.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
at the time when I was young, I really didn't really build like my own individual self, like my own individual personality and like my own independence.
Yeah.
So I will admit I was very codependent on like that person. But now like, when time passed, by being 5 years single, like I learned a lot of independency. I like grew from it, and I'm here to this day. To this day I'm here. I learned from it, so I'm here to this day.
So you said that you didn't see any signs of like actually breaking up with you, but like what would you say was your biggest like issue if you're okay with like saying that?
Sorry, can you repeat that? You were kind of far from your mic, so I couldn't
What
really hear
was
the
your
last part.
biggest like issue from that relationship?
Long distance and the fact that he got with my best friend at the time, and I think they're still dating now. So
So
it's
this
kind of like
is
the, huh?
this is your this was your best friend at that time when you guys were together.
So to kind of like have a brief history. So
Yeah.
when me and my boyfriend went to college, we befriended a girl
Okay.
in like college,
Oh.
and she was dating another guy that we were friends with, like in a group of friends with.
Yeah.
And that's like the dancing group that I was part of. Like we all did like the same club, whatever. And like when her and that guy, ex-boyfriend at the time, broke up, we basically like took her in. Like we were like the Three Musketeers. Like we would go to like we would go on like we would go on vacation together. We went to SoCal together. We would hang out all the time, and like we would like do things together. But then when me and my boyfriend broke up, like I was kind of just like, I don't know, like I didn't expect it. It wasn't until I'm going real personal with you guys. Okay, so there was this rave in Arizona called Decadence. So Decadence is like a kind of like Countdown. It's a New Year's rave, but it's in Arizona. So, this is when me and my ex-boyfriend, broke up, but we still had tickets. So I was like, okay, well I'm still gonna go Decadence because like, I like Decadence. It's a good time for me. And then because he was long distance, I didn't know if he was gonna go or not. But he still had family in Arizona, so he obviously was gonna come back for like Christmas, New Year's, right? So, I did go to Decadence, and like at the time, me and my ex boyfriend had like the same group of friends. So when I got there, like I was hanging out with like some of our mutual friends. So I was gonna be like, kind of just saying like hi to him and like be cordial with him. But then like I remember like walking in, and then I see like, so there's day one, and I see like my ex best friend like hugging this guy, and I thought it was like a different guy because I was like or like the day one he was hugging a different guy, so I was like, okay, that's our friend, whatever, like, I'm okay, like whatever, do her thing. Then day two, it was like New Year's Eve, and I like walk in, same entrance and everything, same group of friends, and I see she's hugging this guy, and I'm thinking it's the same guy like from yesterday, right? But then I get closer, and I'm like, is that him? Like my ex? And he's like wearing a mask, but I can tell like from like his back, from behind, that that's him. So they're like embracing, and they're embracing for like a really long time, and I'm like, no fucking way, like no way. So I almost was like, I was emotional. I was really like, I was about to like fight somebody. Like I was gonna like, I was like fuming. But and I remember this. I had people pull me back and say, Amber, no, 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 you don't want to do this here. And then I think they saw me, or they heard the commotion. So then they and stopped embracing each other, and then my ex walks away, and then the best friend, like my ex best friend, like kind of stops, and I go up to her and I'm like, what are you doing hugging him? And then she goes, we were cold, nothing serious, like we're just hugging because it's been a while since I've seen him, right? And I'm like, that's what you guys are doing. So because of that moment, that tarnished my friendship with my ex best friend, the girl.
Oh, because you were best friends at that time still.
Yeah, and I was like, sure, whatever. So I walked away from that. I cried obviously, but I literally was like, there is no way that she did me dirty like that. So I walked away from that. And then actually, I can't remember, a week or two later, she messaged me. She's like, let's talk like one-on-one. I tell you the real story. And I was like, okay. So we met like at this like boba shop, whatever, and then we talked. And she was like so dead serious. She was like, I don't have feelings for your ex-boyfriend. I don't. Like, we're just friends, whatever. And I was like, okay, that's fine, like I get it. But I didn't really believe it. Like, it was like I felt like she was kind of lying to me. And she was like, no, we're just cold. Like, it was, New Year's Eve, but it's cold. Like, we were just hugging each other, and like it was like we were just saying hi because we we were friends together too. Like, I know him as a personal friend. So I was like, okay. So I'm not gonna be like, I was very petty. Hello, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I saw your screen load, and I thought like it was my internet. Okay. Back to my story. So yeah, I was very petty. I was just like, whatever. Like, you do you. If you want to be like that, then we're just not gonna be friends. So, we ended up like that conversation on a bad note, and like it just felt really, like I felt really like bad at that time because like, that was like my ex best friend, the girl. Like I vented to her a lot about things, and she was with me for like my like long distance relationship. She was there when I was through my downs and ups and downs, and to feel very betrayed was really like the most terrible feeling. And then later I find out that they're dating. So I was kind of like, yeah, no, they're dead to me. I'm done. Like I try not to hold a grudge, but like at that time I was so like irritated, like so fuming with like rage that like my 5-year relationship ended. Like maybe because I will take admit maybe it was me or like maybe the relationship itself because it was so strained and it was so like such a long relationship, long distance. But like the fact that it could have been any other girl but her, it just shocked me.
Heard a lot
So
more, yeah.
yeah, so that's why like I said tragically because like it definitely was one of like the most traumatic relationships in my life
You lost two
and
people.
lost two people in my life and two important people in my life and I just definitely learned a lot from it. Like I took a long time to heal from it, but I mean, I'm glad now that it happened because now I think to this day, I think they're actually meant for each other. Like, you know, like it sucks the way it happened and it had to be. If I could do it again, I wish I could like be cordial with them. But I think if they're still going strong to this day, they're definitely like, they're meant to be together and they're like happy with each other. I would want my partner to be my ex partner to be happy than to be miserable with like something he's not happy with. So, that's just life now. Like I
Yeah.
don't like right now I don't think I'm not out to for blood or anything. Like I let I gave what's it called? I gave forgiveness. I let peace with it. So, that's just how it is like my triumph from a hard time in my life.
Yeah. That's a very mature approach.
Yeah.
You've gained a lot of wisdom over time. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Just to wrap it up and just to like make sure I understand the timeline. So after that conversation with her, that's when you broke off the friendship, or was it until you found out they got together? How long?
That
Oh,
conversation was what broke up the friendship.
okay.
Definitely.
So you broke that friendship, and then you eventually moved, and then you found out they got together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, all right. And then since then, no contact with either.
Nope.
Okay.
I mean, it's just personally, I just feel like mentally it's better for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't wish bad upon them at all. I hope they're doing well. Like, I think, I'm happy for them, but just me, I just don't want to associate myself with people that I was in that time of my life. So, that's just how I handled it.
On to a new chapter in life. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a new chapter. Like, yeah, I live in California now. It's a new chapter in my life. I don't need like personal baggage anymore from that.
hmm Okay, so moving forward, 5 years of no real relationships. You said you were just dating around. Like, how did you meet these people? Was it like mutuals, online, like dating apps?
Um,
What?
yeah, so I would say like I was meeting people through online and mutual friends. I did have a dating app, but I ended up deleting it because it was just like not worth. Like I didn't find any success through it, and like yeah, just meeting people and talking to people, but they just never worked out.
Okay.
So like that, I kind of just like I don't even remember much of it because of just how like fast it went. It was like a breeze through my life. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and then fast forward. h- Talk about the story with Koi. Like, how did that even happen?
I uh like so we're gonna get into it. Can I
Yeah.
actually use the bathroom for this one?
Yeah, yeah, go for it, go for it. What's the story? Like, you guys obviously met through Twitch, and then how did it grow from there? Especially because you've been single for 5 years, right? So it has to
Yeah.
be very significant.
Yeah. So I know Koi's dating history is a little different from mine. But it's okay. I just definitely took a lot of time to myself and wanted to like focus on myself, and when I was like dating around, like I just didn't really like, see myself anyone with anyone. So with Koi, So I met him through Twitch, and from my perspective, so it was, I think it was one of your tourneys.
Yes.
I think it was your. I don't remember what tourney. What I think it was like the winter tourney or something like that.
Okay.
It's
I
like
forgot it's one of them.
Yeah, one of them. And you paired me up with Turtle Awakening on my team.
Let's go, Turtle.
Yeah, Turtle Awakening. And I think I was still kind of like coming back to streaming, but not consistently.
Yeah.
And I was like, like we were doing scrims and stuff, and like we were just like, I was getting to know my teammates, and then Turtle told me he lives in the same city as a lot of us, and I was like, oh shoot. And at the time I was like getting to know a lot of like Bay Area people, making connections. So I was like, and Turtle's a cool guy. Like I was like, I ended up talking to him, and he's a cool guy, and I like his energy. So I was like, oh, let's meet up sometime. So I think at the time he was dueled with Koi, and I was like, who's Koi? And I think I went to his chat or something, or like he showed me, and I think I found out he's like a lineup Larry, Brim lineup Larry. And I was like, oh shoot, you're like really cracked. And so I think we ended up like scheduling like a dinner to sizzling lunch. And like I did like that. My like main goal was to meet like both of them, but definitely Turtle, because Turtle was my teammate.
Yeah.
And then I invited like you, Caster, Smokes, and Steve, I think. And so Turtle was the first one that showed up because I was the one that got the table first. And I was like, oh, it's so fun, like meeting Turtle. And then like Koi shows up, and I'm like, whoa, you're tall, man. So I was like, and like, I was just like, talking to both of them, and like, and it was like surprising to me to meet Koi because he told me he didn't rave. And like a lot of like Asians in the Bay Area, I thought, they rave. So I'm like surprised to hear that he's like one of the few that don't rave.
Anomaly.
And at the time, he didn't really like that type of music too, like EDM or anything. Maybe like Millennium, but that's about it. And so after that, I think because Koi works from home, so he's like on his computer all the time. So I think like we started messaging about like Valorant stuff, and he was like helping me like jump peek, because I can't jump peek for my life on Valorant, and like just like playing games together. And then we like talked more, and like then we kind of just like got to know each other a little bit more. And then so with Koi, it surprised me because we started getting closer about a year ago, about like the ups and downs of like what our life what our life was a year ago. Like he was telling me about his life, and I was telling him about life, and it was like the first time I ever like opened up to someone like that in detail. The first time we actually like, we started off as like group hangouts, like small group hangouts, like eating ramen with Steve and Hi, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we did like a hangout together where like it was just me and him, and we went to like Santa Cruz, and we like did like a little small hike, and then we just like talked about like our life. And for me, it was really hard to like open up because I don't normally like to talk to people about my personal life, because I just think that like I don't want to bother them with my life.
Yeah.
But he was really engaging to like ask me questions and like talk to me and like getting to know me. And then we did like another like hangout thing during the day. We got like ramen together. Like he even drove up to like to where I live, and then he only hung out with me for like an hour. And I was like, wait, you're gonna just go home? And he was just like, yes. And I'm like, are you okay with that? And he was just like, that's fine. And I'm like, oh, I feel bad. Like I don't want you to like drive up to me and then like just leave. Like I just want to like make sure like you have like hang out and like have time, and like it's not your time, like gas and time is wasted. And he was like, no, it's okay. Like I just like enjoy hanging out with you. So we did that. And what got to me was definitely he started texting me more, and like I was like, that's kind of weird. Like I'm surprised he's like texting me a lot more, and he was like making these like flirtatious like messages to me, and I'm kind of like oblivious. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty oblivious, and I'm like, I don't know how to like react to this or respond to this. And he invited me to go on like a picnic, and I was like, really? Like you want to go on a picnic? And like we went on this picnic, and he like bought, and I was surprised. This guy was ready. So he had like a picnic blanket, like a bag full. He went to like the market or like some kind of market before to get spam musubis, and he got me cookies because he knows I like cookies. And then he got like boba too. So I was like, this guy is ready for like the picnic. Yeah. And he even picked me up. And I was like, what? Like that's like I didn't expect that. And like the whole time we were like doing the picnic, we like just talked about life. And like small things like we did, like the simplest thing we did was like that we were like by like the lake, or not the lake, like the San Mateo Bridge. And we were just watching like these airplanes like pass through the sky. And then we just like name what airline it is. We'd be like, oh, that's Southwest, or that's, Asia Airlines or something. And I just thought it was fun. Like I thought it was like a good time. And then like I didn't really think of much about it at that time either, because I was kind of just like, oh, like we just want to hang out as friends. And then so we did that. And then the next, okay, I remember this. I'm gonna say my story because he keeps saying I flirted first in the chat.
Okay.
And it's not true. So that same hangout, the next day, he texted me. He goes, "Are you still in the mood for sushi?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Do you want to get sushi with me?" And I was like, "I just saw you yesterday. Are you sure?" And he was like, "Oh, never mind." And I'm like, "What do you mean, never mind?" And then he goes, "Oh, I don't want you to drive too far." And then, like, to me, it, like, threw me off because I'm like, why would you invite me to hang out and then, like, say never mind? Like, that just makes me feel like, what do they call it? Like, I'm not my first priority, but, like, something where it's just, like, you just, like, change your mind really quickly.
Backpedaled.
Yeah, backpedal, whatever. And he, like, apologized. He was like, I'm sorry, like, that's not what I meant to say. Like, I just didn't want you to drive. And I was like, like, if you don't want to hang out with me, it's cool. And then he was like, well, you hang out with me. And I was like, okay, fine. So I'll hang out with you. Right? So next day, we went to go get sushi. And he, like, drove me around to, like, all these places. Like, he took me to, like, Sierra Road. And then he took me to, like, was it Sierra Road? Oh, Alviso. Because I never actually been to Alviso. Yeah, I never been to Alviso. That was my first
the
time.
lake thing?
Yeah, like the
Marina?
salt lake thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was joking with him. I'm like, do you take like everyone here? Like, do you just know the spots? And he was just like, I just want to show you. And I thought it was pretty cool. That's my first time seeing Alviso, so I took a few pictures there.
Yeah.
And it was fun. And then after that day, it was like around 4. I was about to go home, and he was like, wait, I got you something. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like standing outside my car waiting whatever he gets me. And he like brings out these flowers. And I'm like, these are for you. And I'm like, wow. And I'm still oblivious, right? So I go, do you buy flowers for all your friends?
For a regular hangout? Whoa. Okay.
And I think he got embarrassed. So he like said no, and then he like quickly runs, like goes back in his house. And I was like, okay, and I just started laughing. And then I'm driving home, and then I get home, and then he texts me. He goes, to answer your question, I don't get flowers for anyone. I get flowers for special people in my life, which is you and my mom. And I was like, really? In my head, I'm like, what? Like, I'm so surprised because, like, I don't know what this means, right? So I'm like, I call my friend, my guy friend, like my close guy
My
friend.
God, you need confirmation.
I'm like, what does this mean? Like, what does these flowers mean? And he goes, dude, Amber, like, he likes you. And I'm like, what? Like, what do you mean? And he goes, but because I asked him a follow-up questions. I was like, oh, did you just go to the store and like pick up some flowers or something? And he was just like, yeah, I picked them up because I was like, picking up my mom some flowers, and I thought, you had some flowers too. And I'm like, oh, maybe he doesn't like me because like, he picked up his mom flowers. And then my friend's like, no, Amber, he thought about you like at that moment, so he bought you flowers. So I was like, what? So, yeah, so at that point, I was just like, you know what? I went my whole life, like the last few years, like kind of like done with playing games. So that's just gonna punch me. Nah, this was a year ago. Like, give me a break. This was a year ago. And this is me like being like single for so long, right? So,
Okay.
so that night, I call Koi. I pick up and like he answers, and I'm just like, I'm so nervous at this point. I'm just like, do you want to go to the movies as a date? Like, it took me so long to finally like spit out the words, and I finally said it.
You asked him out on the first official date.
Yeah. So he is right. I did ask him out first, but he did flirt first. That's what I'm gonna say. To conclude that. So yeah, he played with me. He's like, do I want to go on to the movies with you? He goes, yes. And I was like, he goes, and I'm like, okay, cool. So it's a date. So I think like a week later, we go on this date, and we're like texting in between, and I'm like kind of excited because I'm like, dang, like I did not expect this out of him. Like, because when I first met Koi, he was very like, I don't know, explain it. Just very like, not a very emotional person. Very like like one layered person, and I just didn't expect like him to be so like invested into someone like me, because like we are kind of like two different people. Like we are very opposite like personalities. And then when we went on our date, it was pretty nice. Like, it was definitely cute. Like we went out to Hot Pot, and then we went to the movies, and then we got T-Sane. And then yeah, after that we went on our first date, and then the next day he gets COVID for your attorney, because that was your attorney for the, what's it called, the Cali Boys
Cali
tourney.
Boy Clash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he gets COVID the next day.
Gosh.
And that's how I remember it too. Like, cause we went on our first date and we got COVID the next day. So that was the story of how I met Koi. And I would say he doesn't seem like it, but he could be very romantic and have a very like softer side to him. So he was very sweet, and it just like surprised me because I never thought like him as a person, as well as like someone that's been single for so long, like I would expect to find him like unexpectedly. Like I didn't expect it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like it definitely showed, because like he was willing to like you know talk to me, hang out with me. He actually went to me and him went to Arizona to meet my mom. And I didn't expect like for a guy to be dating in the beginning to meet my mom. And so he went to Arizona with me to meet my mom, and then yeah, ever since then we've been together almost a year now.
Yeah, that's an awesome story. I like that. He also mentioned Pokemon Go. What was that about? That supposed to be like a sign of you flirting first?
No, I am a Pokemon Go player. And this was when we were not dating, we were still friends. I told him there was a community day, and like I wanted to catch Pokemon, and he was like, "Oh, I'll go with you if you need company." But like the same day, that was the same day I think Maple was in town to like hang out with friends like Viv and Smokes or something. And I was like, I really want to see Maple, but I also want to play Pokemon Go. So like we ended up like I end up picking them up, and then like we end up just like I think meeting up with Maple and Smokes and like eating like Spartan tacos with them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was like what he was talking about.
Okay. Okay. What does your mom think about him?
So my mom only met him once, and she thinks like he's very like nice. My mom, my Koi bought my mom like a flower, an orchid, and I think it surprised my mom because usually like bye RJ, good night.
Nah, RJ.
Uh, that she was not expecting like an orchid from him. So she was just like, "Oh, he's nice. He's tall, good looking. You know, like he's a good guy."
Points, bro. Let's go.
And to this day, like my mom's or now my aunt still has that same orchid that like Koi bought him, and it's still like blooming. It's still like they're taking care of it.
Awesome. Okay, so now that you're older and you're still like you're in a happy relationship, right? What have you learned from this relationship?
Oh, is it happy? I don't know about that one. Just kidding. um, so like any relationship, it's not perfect. I say we definitely have our challenges in our relationship. We definitely have our differences. Especially, I'm very like outgoing and like a little extroverted with a little bit introverted. You know him, he's a very introverted person. He doesn't like big groups, big crowds. I don't mind the crowds. Um, but what I learned from this relationship that like um it's okay to be two different people. It's okay to live like two different lives and like come together and enjoy each other's company because like coming from like a past relationship where I was very codependent and very like with my partner all the time, with Koi, I learned that like it's like he likes doing his own thing, and at first it was really hard for me to kind of understand that. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm learning a lot from like him as well as like be my own person, and it's like as well as just like like compromising what we both want. Like I know that he like has his own reasons for doing things and has like his own life that he wants to do, and I'm like doing my own thing where like I'm trying to study and be like become a nurse and study for my NCLEX as well as like streaming and doing my own thing. And then we do like in between, if there's time, we do try to make time to like spend time together and like enjoy each other's company, and just right now I'm trying to be more like proactive of like appreciating the little things that he does for me, because sometimes it can be overlooked since we have like differences. For example, he took me out for my birthday because my birthday was in April, and he took me to Korean barbecue, and he bought a cake for me, and he let me like do like a mini stream as a setup. So I like appreciate those little things that he does for me. Even though like sometimes he doesn't really want to do certain things, like I know he does it because like he cares for me as well as like we care for each other, and um like as long as we just kind of like we been trying to like work it out and talk to each other and like make like I guess like the common ground.
Yeah, like common
It
ground.
could be like it can be a well-rounded relationship as well as like being our own self. And like what he's told me in the beginning, like in the past, he's told me that I forgot what he already told me, but he said you don't become part. You don't become the relationship doesn't become your whole life. It's part of it. So uh that's what I'm still trying to um put in my head, that like we we have deep care for each other, and like I want him to succeed as well as myself to succeed, and you know if when we have time, we'll make time for each other for the smallest amount of time we have, and enjoy enjoy being present versus like dwelling in the past or dwelling or being too anxious about the future.
Nice. Yeah, talk to Koi about that. So I totally understand. It's like you have to. Not only are you guys like working on your lives together, but separate individuality.
Yeah.
That makes it like so much more healthier because then that like relates to you not being like so dependent or anything. Codependent. That's awesome that you figured that out. And still growing, so going good.
Yeah. I mean, you know, like it's definitely like when you first get together, like any relationship, you have like the puppy love stage, right? Where
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you want to be with them all the time. You want to like hang out with them. Obviously when time passes, like you kind of like slowly drift and like at that point you either you make it or break it. And if you like, you know, obviously if you don't like be mindful of like their own like personal space and their like privacy and their individuality, then that's what's gonna break the relationship. And I think right now we're definitely at that point where it's like we've been together almost a year, so we definitely have like our own life. You know, he's busy with his life, I'm busy with my life, like um and we will like come together when we have the time to, and like we and at the time I will like appreciate the times that we spent together.
Awesome. Okay, so uh like even before meeting Koi and stuff, like what would you say your specific type when it comes to personality and appearances? What would you say?
Um, so for me, I've always gravitated toward Asian guys. Um, I don't really have like I guess like I do have a preference now that I'm getting older.
Yeah.
Like, um, I didn't really care about height because like my ex wasn't that tall. But it is nice to like date a taller guy because I'm very short and it's just like a nice feeling. But as long as like for what attracts me to a guy is like they are willing to like talk to you, get to know you, and like spend time with you, and um like as spend time as in like getting to know you, also like hanging out with you here and there, and just seem like they're like invested into like you as a person, not like for physical appearance or for like so- something alternative. And just like if they're like again nice, well-rounded, family oriented, because in the future like I would like, you know, a family, and like I was very absent of like having a like closeness with my family that would include like my dad, um because my dad was never really like open to talking to me. um and then I kind of really like regret not getting to know him because just to like I know we talked about family in the past, but in the past conversation, but my dad passed away in 2015 from pancreatic cancer. So when I grow up, I want like when I grow up, but yeah, when in the future, I want like my own family like to be able to like communicate with each other through like talking as well as like getting to know like being each other's lives because my dad was very distant with me. As well as like a guy that's just like really like genuine and not like lying about like certain things of like their career or finances or whatever.
Mhm.
I want them to be honest with me as well as like as well as like their um like dedication as commitment and communication as well.
Awesome. Okay, so how about the opposite? What are like red flags to you?
Um red flags if like hmm if they're kind of like egotistic, if they come off really like cocky and very like stubborn and selfish. I don't really like when a guy is like very close-minded. Like if he doesn't want to like be open to like new things or new ideas or anything like that. I would, you know, I don't like that. And also just like really rude or like like or if they lied to me or distrustful and unloyal.
Do you personally believe in second chances?
Yeah, I do.
Your mindset about that, like especially if it comes to like cheating.
So cheating's no. I don't like cheating. You guys, like I said in the previous like earlier conversation, I kind of got betrayed.
Yeah.
So I don't want to go through that feeling, and it's kind of just like if someone cheats, like you obviously like cheated for a reason and you like weren't happy or whatever, like it was just for a certain reason. What makes you think that they will do it again, you know? So cheating's a no for me. But second chances, like, you know, let's say if they messed up like on something or they like lied or like just something like that, like something like more like reasonable, then I do believe second chances are a thing. Yes.
Okay.
Because people grow and like I feel like
Yeah.
people change all the time. So I think if you know they change all the time and they like or people change all the time and they grow and they learn from it. You know, like look up to like my own life. Like I'm a completely different person from like you know year 5 6 years ago versus now. And then same thing with like uh I guess like a good explanation is my dad. My dad didn't have like the best relationship with my mom. There was like times where my mom accused my dad of cheating. I don't know if this is true or not. But in the end of his life, like toward the end of his life, I noticed that he was trying to be a better dad, like kind of like more communicative toward me. He was working to like, you know, provide and like I think because and the hard part about my dad is like he didn't really tell me what was going on with his cancer. I found out through my family members, and when I found out what he was doing toward the end of his life, it was from my aunt, and my aunt's well, obviously his sister. So they were saying like good things about my dad. Like my dad didn't have like the best past history, but he definitely tried his best at the end to like be a good dad and be supportive and be there for me. I know like one time like my dad wanted to like buy my flight ticket back to spend time with him, but at the time I was like older, so I was like working. And he said, "Okay, that's fine." Like, you know, he didn't like give me 2 second doubts. He was just like, "Yeah, like it's fine. We'll just reschedule it." So, I before my dad was just kind of like not like reacted differently, but
Yeah.
I definitely think there's second chances for everybody. And then my mom actually ended up like coming to like the hospital in the ICU when he was like when his time was passing.
Yeah.
And like and my mom hated his guts, but she took it like big confidence in herself to like visit him to like you know like talk to him and be like really like cordial with him and like nice to him. And yeah, and then she went to his funeral. So it was just like I definitely think if someone like my dad can, you know, can be forgiven second chances, like I think
Redeem
it's
himself. Yeah.
possible. Yeah.
Wow. All right, and then we're wrapping up the significant others talk. So,
Mm-hmm.
what would you
Sorry, I
say?
went off topic a little
No,
bit.
no, you're good. You're good. No worries. So, what would you say are your like love languages? Like the order of it.
I would say it changed. At first it was like words of affirmation and like access service.
Hmm.
But now it's kind of like more physical touch, which is surprising. Um, but because I recently took a test and now it says physical touch and words of affirmation. And what's the other two? I don't remember the other two.
There's quality time and gifts.
Okay. Yeah,
Giving.
no, I'm not a huge gift giver. I think gift giver is like my lowest or receiving gifts is like my lowest.
Yeah.
Quality time is also a good one. But I definitely think like, oh wait, actually I don't know. I think it's been between quality time, physical touch, and words of affirmation.
Got it.
Yeah. So it's one of those three.
Okay, so moving on, you mentioned that you're an advocate about mental health, so which is awesome. You like
Mm-hmm.
talking about that briefly. As of now, in your current state, how would you like, rate your mental health? Like, how are you doing? 1 through 10, 10 being the highest.
Can be the highest, like the best.
Best, yes.
I'm not gonna lie. I struggled with past history of like depression and anxiety, just because like I went through so much with like my dad and like my family, as well as like post traumatic stuff.
Yeah.
Even now, like sometimes I'm like, man, I should be like working right now. It's like this like nurse that makes so much money, but instead I'm still studying for my exam. Like it just feels kind of like not like the best place.
Yeah.
But I would say right now I am a lot better. I would say right now I'm like 10 is the best. So I would say like I'm a 6 right now. Just because like there's not much like mental stress like oh it's not like I don't want to like get up from bed. It's more like oh I have so much guilt from like studying for the exam, getting a job because I did take out a loan for school, for nursing school, and I really want to pay that off. And it's like those type of stresses that I want to be able to handle myself versus like like past Amber where she like days where I couldn't like get up from my bed or like, you know, thinking that like, oh, there's nothing really to do, like there's nothing to look forward in life. But now like I do look forward into working the field, like, being able to like have this money if I make good money to go on like travel trips and like hanging out with like friends and just like cuz like I said life is too short and I don't want to like be stuck in like a place where I'm just going to dwell on everything. Like I want to be able to on and past um move on past move on pass on to like a better place in my life. And like I'm still learning, like you said, I'm still learning, I'm still growing as a person.
Yeah. So at least you know you're on the right path though, because like, you're studying and you have no reason to feel like you're behind or anything. Because
Yeah.
after you do
I
this, you're
definitely
gonna
felt like
find a job.
I definitely felt like that because like, I did like switch
Yeah.
careers. I really wanted to be an optometrist, but found out it wasn't really for me. So I switched to nursing. Like I said, like being in nursing school kind of a little bit older was a little intimidating, but my program luckily was like really good at like having a different ranges of ages as well as like people in life. Like I had classmates that had kids and they got to nursing program. They finished it. So like if that didn't stop them, then like what's gonna stop me? Like
Yeah.
I need to get over like my little stuff rut that I'm in, and then things will be better.
So for you right now, like whenever you do feel stressed or just sad, like how do you deal with it? How do you cope?
So like I said before, I don't want to ever feel alone.
Yeah.
Like it's good to be alone. Like I will admit, like being alone and like by yourself, you learn a lot of things like skills and like you learn to like love yourself to be alone. But if I'm ever sad, like to the point where I'm like, oh, I need to talk to someone, I'll just like call up like a good friend, like my good high school friend to vent about stuff, or like I'll listen to music. The big reason I got into like raves and stuff was because like I really like the music. It makes me feel good. Another like thing is I watch shows. I play games. And if I get bored of like being at home, I like go out, treat myself. Like I don't mind treating myself out to like a meal. Like
Yeah.
I'll go out and get myself like I don't know, McDonald's or like a cookie because everyone knows I like cookies. So like just like self-care. I definitely do want to work on physical activity because I really lack on that department. Because obviously I'm not swole like Wilson right here, but I am trying.
You went to the
Yeah,
gym before. with us.
You did. Yeah, I remember that. That was fun, but tiring because I was so out of shape. Oh my gosh. But it was fun. I enjoyed it. Like I don't mind going to the gym. I really don't. It's just like I think you said this in the podcast before, like it's a routine, it's the commitment, and it's like
Yeah,
that's the hardest part is like
absolutely.
sometimes I just don't want to get out of bed. Like because I'm not because I'm sad or anything, it's because like I'm just tired.
Yeah.
I just want a lazy day.
Okay. You know, you'll hopefully find something like an activity, even if it's not the gym, just to keep yourself going.
Yeah, I mean like I said, I used to like hiking a little
You're
bit.
bowling
So
though, so there's that.
yeah, that too when I have the time. So just anything like I even thought like I think last month um I actually like walked around my house. Like there's like this park around my house. I like walked around it a few times just to like get some physical activity.
Yeah.
Cuz I was like tired of being inside all the time and studying all the time. And then I also play Pokemon Go, so it's kind of fun to like catch Pokemon while walking around.
Yes.
So that's like a start. And then I also have like a yoga mat. So like I used to like do these like 10-minute stretches like every day, like from you that I found from YouTube. And like at first we were pretty consistent. I was pretty consistent with it, but then I stopped. So it's just like the consistency part is the hard part for me.
Yeah, getting into the groove.
Yeah.
All right, so if you could be living your best life, it's like looking forward to the future. Like, what are the goals, and how are you gonna accomplish that?
Hmm.
Jobs for sure. We know that.
Yeah. Job is for sure working in the nursing field. I am like working at it because I am like active. Like I actually got like a few recommendation letters from my professor, which is a good start because like when I apply to these programs, they do require recommendation letters. Um, I am studying as well as like uh just like working looking looking at other places to apply to. Um, and I think just like keeping up with like things that make me happy. So like streaming has been making me a little like happy, and as well as like playing games and then like hanging out with people and that like that invite me to places or whatever. Those are like what I've been doing lately. Not as like I said, I would like to do more physical activity, but it's definitely a process of it, you know.
Yeah.
Like this weekend I am going to the beach this weekend, so I'm excited for that.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Enjoy the weather, outdoors.
Yeah.
Are you more of the type to like plan and hit people up, or do you prefer people hit you up?
I prefer if people hit me up. Because I went my whole life like planning a lot of things.
Yeah.
And you get to a point where you're like, I'm tired. I don't want to
Okay.
plan anymore.
Okay.
So I kind of just wait until people invite me to places, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, I'm down. Like, uh, like a couple years ago, my friend invited me to Hawaii, and I was like, sure. Like, as long as you plan all this stuff, like the Airbnb and I just have to pitch in the money, then I'm for it. But if it's like a more reasonable hangout, like for example, my birthday, right? Like I planned all that stuff because it's kind of like more like close. It's closer in proximity. It's easier. So I definitely enjoy I appreciate when people plan it and they just invite me because it
Yeah.
makes me feel like I, they thought of me.
Okay, what would you say is like your greatest accomplishment in life so far, and then your biggest regret?
I would say my greatest accomplishment was definitely passing nursing school. Um, it was not
Huge.
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not easy. I stressed out a lot, especially my program was accelerated in a year. It was not like the easiest ride ever. I studied a lot. I like had my breakdowns. I definitely like had some like moments in the hospital, my rotations where like I really thought I had imposter syndrome, which means like I didn't think I was going to be like a good nurse. But I definitely know that that's just all mental, and like I just have to try my best to like be positive and know that I'm going to be good at this. I'm going to be the best I can be.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's like one of my greatest accomplishment was definitely like going to nursing school. Moving from a different state away from my family is kind of also like accomplishment I do. I do miss my mom a lot, but like I I learned a lot from living on my own.
Yeah.
So
Big risk that you took.
yeah, I learned a lot from living my own, and like I do like talk to my mom here and there. So like we do keep a close relationship, but like I know she's always there to support me. Like with my mom, she was very the strict parent, but over time we grew like a good mother daughter relationship where I know like she's always there and she just wants me happy.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
I say that would be my most accomplishments.
And regret?
Um I would say regret is like how I handled um losing relationships and friendships in the past.
Okay.
Obviously like my relationship with my ex was definitely a big one for me. I don't think I handled it the best, and obviously because I was so young and like it happened so long ago, like my mindset was a lot different back then. And like even friendships, like when I like lose a friend and we have a falling out, like I would be sad about it, and like I would like not take it very well, and I would even like doubt myself, thinking, oh, am I like a not a good like a good friend? Am I doing something wrong? But that's just how life is now. Like I learned from those relationships and friendships, and like I just move on, and it's a life lesson I learned.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna wrap things up with some good old EDM and rave talk.
Oh yes, all the good stuff.
All right. Talk about your introduction to EDM and what makes you like it.
Okay. So, my first rave ever was this rave in Arizona. So in Arizona, there's not, I mean, I think it's different now, but back then, it's not like the Bay Area where there's like an individual artist at Bill Graham like every weekend.
Yeah.
Or at Midway or at Civic Center, right?
Okay.
It's like a festival. So Arizona like has like, like a warehouse slash desert area where like they just hold festivals. It's usually like 2 days. Kind of similar like Countdown, right? Um and they just like do like headliners and like assign like they have DJs there.
Interesting.
So I was turning 21, and my group of friends at the time were into raving. And I was like, you know what? Like I'm 21, like I want to like do something. So she was like, come to this rave. It's called Phoenix Lights. So I was like, oh shoot, okay. So I didn't even know EDM at the time. I didn't know who was like what the genre was. I didn't know like the cut music was. And I was like, okay, I'll go. So I bought my ticket, and my friend showed me like, how to pick out an outfit, how to like what to carry, like what fanny pack to wear, all that stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. And like if you saw my first rave outfit, it was so basic and simple, or it was just like different from what I wear now. Uh, and this is in 2017, and I had a lot of fun. Like it was a 2-day festival, and this is back when Millennium was like on one of the smallest names on that headliner list. Like I remember
Oh.
Millennium being like at the bottom,
What
like
year is
super
this?
small print. 2017.
Okay, 17.
Yeah. And I was like, dang, that's crazy. So now that he's so big now, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I don't remember the lineup at the time. I think it was like Alessio or like some other like old style, maybe David Guetta or something. I don't know, some like older DJ. And it was fun. Like I enjoyed it. I ended up like falling in love with the music. I ended up like really getting into it. And that's how I kind of researched more on like different EDM genres as well as EDM DJs. And then so then I went to like other like festivals in Arizona, like because at the time they only made like 2-day raves, and it was like every 3 months or something like that.
Yeah.
So we went to like a rave every like 3 months, and then I think I took like a year break from like 2019 or 2018 to 2019 or something. And then obviously COVID hit, right? So COVID, we were, stuck at home watching like these like live stream raves, and I was like on like webcam with friends on Discord or whatever, and we would watch it through there. And then, uh, no, it was after Amber. We went to Zed and shit. Yeah, something like that. So I moved to California, right? And I think when I first met Drew, we ended up like hanging out and we went to Zed. I can't remember even what year it was, but at Bill Graham, and that was so fun. It was really fun. And yeah, then COVID hit obviously, and then and then when raves were like in person again, I think they kind of just like, you know, I just picked it back up because I met like other friends, like party friends that like I rave with too. And now I kind of just like I'm getting a little bit tired now because I've been raving for so long and I'm like my back hurts and I'm old.
Yeah, yeah.
So I kind of selectively choose which raves I want to go to now. So Dabin, obviously, it was like a birthday gift from my friend, so he bought my ticket, so that's why I went to Dabin. And I'm definitely gonna go Martin Garrix because Martin Garrix was one of my favorites. So I will see you at Martin Garrix.
Hey, Martin Garrix. How have you grown as a raver over time then? Like, biggest things that you've learned, like the first rave. Like fits, for example, is one.
Okay, so yeah, clothes was definitely a big one. I don't know, like I went from like really basic, like I was wearing like holographic bralettes and fishnets to like kind of more like out there uh I don't even know how to explain it, like more like tried. I tried more a little bit, like I added more accessories, I added
Yeah.
like headbands, I'm wearing like all these candy bracelets and like necklaces. And I used to wear like a lot of like, oh, I used to even make candy. That's like how I knew I was really into it. Like I used to like take time to like make these candy bracelets and like give them out to people. And and then obviously I had my first EDC I think in 2022. So it was really exciting. Like I was like dressed up. I tried really hard to like, glam up. And then I kind of like slowed down because like I am like getting older. I am studying for my exam, and finances does come into a big play when it comes to raving. It does get pretty expensive going to like all these events. So I kind of like don't go to as much because of that reason.
Yeah.
Also, and now it's kind of like I'm either like a spaghetti strap or a bralette, and then I throw a jersey over and shorts because like I'm just like I've done it all. Like I don't need to try as much anymore. Like I don't really like have the time and effort to. But like I do enjoy like hanging out and talking to people at raves. Like I obviously I met up with you and Vinny and Tu and like all you guys and Hi at Dabin. So I do like you know put some effort into like with that.
Yeah. Been seeing you at like random ones. So here and there trilogy.
Yeah, trilogy. That was so random.
I know. I was just like, what the fuck? Went to the same restaurant after. It was crazy.
Yeah, like
Coincidence.
the what is like one like a pho place that opens at like 1 in the morning? Oh gosh, that was
Yeah.
pretty funny.
What type of raver would you say you are when you're actually there though?
So I would say at first I was like the mom of this group. Like
Rave
I would
mom? Okay.
yeah, cuz I still carry like my Hydra pack and my fanny pack at the same time because like I rather like be prepared and like have my own stuff than like having to rely on like other people. And like, not gonna lie, I don't really like I don't mind it, but I don't also like to share the same like, mouthpiece with everyone. So I just carry my own stuff and I like make if anyone like asked me for like gum, Vicks, whatever, I would provide it. I don't do it as much now because like I think no one really asks me anymore, or like they just have their own stuff,
Yeah.
or they have like their significant other to hold their stuff for them. And like as like I go to these like events by myself because my boyfriend's not a raver, so I kind of just like make sure I just take care of myself and have my own stuff because like I don't really have someone to have like carry stuff for me. which would be nice. But it's okay. Like I just been doing this for so long. Like I just
You're
like
accustomed to it.
accustomed to, yeah. So like at first I was a mom, but now I'm more like I don't know, fair. Like what are the categories? Can you like give me the categories and I can kind of go from there?
I mean, there's like side questers or like vibers where you just chill in your spot, or headbangers. I don't know, high energy,
Okay.
social butterfly.
Yeah, so I would say I'm like more vibing on my spot, but also like a social person. Like I feel like we're in like the front and like it's very crowded. I'm not gonna like leave unless like I
Okay.
have to go back to like my other if I'm planning to meet like my other friends. But I'm not gonna be like actively talking to like a random next to me or something and be like, "Oh yeah, how's your day?" It's just like if like I know you through a mutual friend, then I'll talk to
Oh,
you and
you're more
stuff.
selective on that front. Okay.
Yeah, just because like I don't know, now these days
You
it's
don't
just
need
like
to. Yeah.
yeah, I don't need
You don't
to.
feel the need to.
Yeah, so like I would talk to like like at Dabin, I was like hanging out with your group for a little bit because you guys were in the front. I had another group, but they were like more in the back and like the back was a lot colder and it was like farther, so I didn't really want to be back there. So
Yeah.
I stayed with you guys because it was just like I was warm and also I could see the visual, so I was
Uh-huh.
like, okay, I'm just gonna stay here and then just go back like the last 15 minutes. Um and yeah, so I was like in the front and I was like talking to Michelle. I met your friend Michelle for the first time.
Yep.
Um
Sunshine.
I forgot what her name is, but she was really sweet. She had like the glasses. I forgot her name. She's so sweet though. I had a good conversation with her. Um
Oh, glasses.
and yeah, she had like these like really cool glasses. She's a little taller, like a little taller than me. I forgot what her name is, but she's really sweet. Um and
How about
like
staying
I was
blue?
just yeah, it was that Stay in Blue, yeah. And I was talking to her a little bit and yeah, like just like kind of like my own vibe, like I just vibe to my own now. And then like I
Yeah.
was talking like how's like like I was like dancing with like Two and Crystal and you and Hi when he comes around.
Did
'Cause
you
Hi likes to be
did you
he's a
see
wanderer.
Vinny and Phantom or no?
Yeah, I did. I saw Vinny. The funny part was I went to go back to my group just to check on them. And
Yeah,
then I
Saturday.
was like making my way through the crowd like during Dabin or
Yeah.
when Dabin started. And like that area, the Frost Amphitheater, like didn't have signal for some reason. So I had to call Crystal, but like I couldn't hear or like it was hard to see people. And then I just see Vinny's face like in the distance. I don't know why. Vinny just has a very distinct face.
Uh-huh.
And I'm just like, oh shit, I see Vinny. So I walk closer to Vinny because I think I went too forward ahead to your guys' group. So I walked closer to Vinny, and then that's when I saw Crystal, and then I was like, okay, I found you
It's
guys.
on everyone. Yeah. I remember, yeah, you were there for a bit.
Yeah, just because like you guys were in a good spot, and I just didn't
Uh,
feel like moving.
right in the middle too.
Yeah, right in the middle. And like even EDC, like last when we went last year, like I was like hanging out with you guys, and then like I had another group of friends I was hanging out with
Yeah.
too, and then
They were right next
I'm
to
pretty
us.
good at. Oh yeah, I'm also pretty good at navigating. So like I didn't mind just like walking away and then like finding people. Like I even found Giles because I know Giles was kind of lost like the first day EDC. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, I'm pretty good at navigating. So I'm like okay with like separating if I need to, and then coming back when like I want to.
Yeah.
I bring people easy, yeah.
So
Surprisingly, you do.
what would you say is like your favorite event that you've been to so far? Like one show and one festival.
Um, let's see. I would say EDC is definitely one of them. My first time at EDC because it was just my first time at EDC in general.
Yeah.
It definitely was like one to remember because like that EDC, I was like in a house with like I don't know 15 people. It was so fun, and those are like my party friends too. So like we would like drink and then we would like talk and like hang out, and then I remember particularly like we were done with the last day of EDC and we come home and then we keep more and then we keep drinking. And usually and like we with the like I think with our group last year we just went home and slept, right? But with this group,
Uh-huh.
they just kept drinking, and I was like, "You guys are crazy."
Yeah,
But they end
wild.
up, yeah, wild. So it was just fun, like energy with them. So that was pretty fun, and I would say my first trilogy, the first Millennium trilogy was like one of my favorites because it was on a spontaneous decision.
That was crazy. I had no idea you were going, so it must have been super spontaneous.
Yeah, so the first one he had in Vegas. He like I think it was like a month or two before Millennium trilogy in Vegas. My friend was like, "Amber, we have an extra ticket. Do you want to go?" And like I barely just met these group of people too. And I was like, "What? You want like to like offer me a ticket even though like I just barely met you guys?" And they were like, "Yeah." And then I ended up saying, "Okay." So I bought the Millennium ticket, I bought my flight, and then I like Airbnb'd with like this group of people at Vegas. And it was so fun. Like we had same thing, same party friends. We like hung out, party, drink, whatever. And then like we just went to Lenium, had fun there. And it was really cool because that was his first show, so like obviously it was a really good performance that he did it two more times, and I was glad to be like there, like where he first started
Yeah.
Millennium, like the origin of
The
trilogy.
journey, yeah.
The journey. So, and it was a really like it's a long show, so like I know like floor is obviously like the best, but the seats, we were at seats and I thought seats was good because like in between you just can sit down and take a break in between his sets. And the like visuals were good, music was good, and I like Elenium, one of my top DJs, and it was just a fun experience because I went to Vegas on a like spontaneous whim and just hang out with these people.
You also went to the Colorado one, right?
I did, yeah.
Didn't you drag Ace out or
I
something?
did. I dragged Ace.
Holy, so you went to all three trilogies?
I did. I'm
Wow.
trilogy is definitely one of the ones that I think I'll just keep going because like it's a tradition now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dragged Ace, just because like my group of friends that went to Colorado, they were like, we're going to Colorado, and I was obviously Ace lived in Colorado, and I was just like convincing him hard, and Ace is not really hard to like convince to go out,
Okay.
so he was just like okay, and I was like yeah, so I was so excited, and that was really cool. I got to hang out with Ace for the first time, and it was fun.
Sick. Okay, what would you say to like about raving to convince people to go? Because there's like a perception that it's just like super crowded. People just like getting fucked up on drugs and stuff, and it's just like very hectic, chaotic. But
Oh
what would you
Koi,
have to say about it?
oh Koi, where's Koi at? I'm just kidding. Oh, the day he goes to a rave, I'm going to be shocked.
Huh?
It's funny. I think like a long time ago, I was like, "Hey, babe, can like if Elenium comes the day of my birthday, will you go with me?" And he goes, "Sure." But obviously, that's gonna be like a 1 in a million chance. So
Yeah, that guy comes like during Thanksgiving or like maybe a huge trilogy or something.
yeah, so maybe my wish will come true one day. Who knows? I don't know. But to answer your question, how I like would say to people who either want to get into the raving scene or like want to try is like I say just try it. It doesn't like hurt to try, and like you don't have to obviously do the other things that people perceive it as, with the substances and everything.
Yeah.
Like you can honestly go there like pre-game or sober. I've been to a lot of events sober too. Like it's still fun. Um and people who like are kind of either like don't really know much about EDM or getting into EDM, I think it's a good like experience because like you meet so many like different people, and like obviously plur is a big thing in the rave community, and like you do meet a lot of people through like from raving or like through those kind of connections, as well as just like having a good time, and like I don't see it like necessarily a bad thing. Like obviously like people think, oh yeah, raves is da 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 da, so but I think it's also like just to like a good time to hang out with friends and network with people, and like just try it for once. Like I know like my friend Maple, it was her first rave ever, and she went to
EDC,
EDC.
holy shit.
But she had a good time. She liked it. Like obviously that's not like her genre of music,
Huh?
but she enjoyed the people that she was with.
Company. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I like about like raves is like I enjoy the people I'm with and like the music as well.
All right, and then to wrap it up, at least that, help the fellas out, Amber.
Okay.
Give them, whoever, all the advice. What is a rave bay and how do you get one?
Oh gosh. So in my dictionary, a rave bay is basically someone you kind of like click with at the event, and all you do is just kind of be like a dual partner with them and like hang out with them. Like that's it. Nothing more from that. Like there is success stories where you can like, grow a relationship from that, but at the event is where you have like where you call each other the rave bay because, it's just for that event.
Okay, so
uh
that's what it is. Okay.
I personally never had a successful rave bay, so I like beyond the rave, so I think it just stays at the rave. Yeah, it just stays at the rave.
Okay, so from your knowledge though, like how should guys like approach or what should they do?
Uh how should they approach and what they do? Well, to me, like just don't come off like super eager and super creepy. Like don't be like, "Hey, like, I think you're really cute." Blah blah. Like no, don't do that. Just kind of like come up to me and like conversate like, "Hey, how's it going?" Like, you know, is this your first event? Like, do you like do you like this type of music? And just kind of like conversate and like, and if you guys like hit it off, then that's like kind of you can go more from there, but like just be nice in general. Like don't show like weird like strange things or creepy things like up in front, and don't like seem too eager. Cuz like I've had guys that come up to me and they'd be like kind of like 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 being a little weird, and they'd be like, "Yeah, you're really pretty. I love your eyes, your outfit's so
Oh,
pretty." And like they were
compliment
just like
Riz.
too yeah, they were just too forward about it, and then they'd be like, "Do you want to dance?" And I'll be like, no, sorry."
Okay. So there you go, guys. If you guys just don't be a creep, all right? Don't be a creep. So what are your
Yeah.
thoughts about the fanning Riz? Like someone in chat, not gonna say names, tends to do
Okay.
the fanning Riz. You know what
The
that is?
fanning. I actually don't. Do you mean like fan somebody like with a
Yeah,
fan?
yeah.
What? That's a thing?
Oh, I didn't want to say who it was, but I guess we know now.
Oh my god.
I'm just kidding.
Um.
I'm just messing with them.
Okay.
You don't have to
Okay.
talk on that, but if you think it
Okay.
works, you
I
could.
kind of know who it is, but I'm not gonna say it either.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know. I don't really think about it. Like, I just think someone who holds a fan, like sometimes I even hold a fan, and I just like fan around because like it feels good to get to like get that air.
Yeah.
But like I don't like think anything more toward it. I don't think, hey, like this guy's gonna shoot a shot with me because he has a fan. Uh, I don't know. I just personally never experienced that because this is actually my first time hearing that.
Well, of course, because it's like a original. It's a original from someone in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Secret technique.
Secret.
Might be like a mid 2024 type of thing.
Okay. Damn. Okay. Writing notes. Okay. Things not to look for at the next rave and not act on it. Got it. Got it. Write those down.
Exactly like what Mochi said. People sometimes just like constantly focus on fanning girls and not focus on that itself.
That's creepy. What the heck? That's creepy. I
But
don't want a guy constantly staring at me.
okay, back to the point that you said earlier. Just don't be a creep. Don't be.
Yeah. Just like be natural. I guess like the correct term is like be natural. Like talk to me like I'm a person, not an object, please.
There you go. All right, so that's the EDM talk, and my last few questions. What I'd like to ask the homies, of course, what was your first impression of me, and how would you describe me as a person?
Right, I need a sip of water for this because this can go on for hours.
What do you mean hours?
I got a lot to say about you, Wilson Chang. No, I'm just kidding. Well, first of all, you're swole as fuck. You're
How's that a first
buff.
impression?
First impression? Well, honestly, I think you're very like toned. Like you're very like good figure, good physique. Uh okay, so let me do a backstory with Wilson, my history with Wilson. I met Wilson, I think in 2022, 2021 at Audiotistic, I think.
It was 22. Pretty sure that was 22.
Okay, yeah, it was Audiotistic. And I ran into you. I saw you, Viv, Smokes, and Vinny, and some other people. And I was like, really, like, you're very welcoming. You're like, Amber. And I was like, Wilson, finally got to meet up in person.
Yeah, because we talked on Twitch before that, like a little bit.
We did. Yeah, we did. So it was really nice to, like, meet you in person because I've just heard, like, good things about you. Like, you're really, like easy to talk to. You're very welcoming. Like have a good presence, like a good like welcoming presence. And it was like I just thought like, oh, this is really a cool guy. He's really like genuine. I think you were a little bit shy though. Like I didn't really get like again we were like in a group setting, so it is like a little bit harder to talk to you one on one in a group setting.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and so I think that was like my first impression of you, that you're like really really chill, down to earth, but just like a little bit like shy to talk to because again, just like factors of people around us. And like I tried, like if I asked you a question, I think you would say something, like respond to it, but then there was like no follow up, and I'll be like, okay, then I try to switch the subject. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
But I mean, that was like the first meeting, so I think like as we get more comfortable with each other, like obviously it's changed a lot.
I was very drunk when I met you.
Yeah, I remember you. Yeah, I think
First
so.
time
Like,
meeting you.
I think you just didn't like. I think you were so focused with like Smokes or like whoever you were also talking to. Like, we just never had like that one-on-one conversation.
I was extremely sore because that's when I started working out. It was extremely hot, and I was wearing all black.
It was hot.
And then I was very drunk because I never went to like a rave or like drank like that in like a long, long, long time.
Did you get drunk from the
pregame?
Oh, pregame. It wasn't the lemonade thing.
Remember the lemonade thing, but we were pre-gaming in the car before going in, and then that's when we met you. And I was dying.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so that was the first impression.
Yeah.
Love pre-gaming. Thanks, man.
I think I pre-gamed a little bit, but not as hard as you, so I was more aware of a lot of things.
Glad we took pictures, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I noticed like over time that you're definitely a picture person, so it's good that we had a lot.
Oh yeah. It's like pros and cons of being a picture person. Like obviously, like, you know, sometimes it takes away from like being in the moment, but I also do like to reminisce back at like the old times and good times and like look back at them. Especially it's like nice to have like photos of like, you know, photos from when we first met, because we look a lot different now.
Yeah. I mean, I have like blue silver hair now. I'm just kidding. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it. All right. Do you have any questions of your like just in general before we wrap things up, or was there anything that you wanted to like speak on?
I actually your podcast with Koi, I listened to it a lot. Like as in like I was very like I was engaged, like I was listening to it.
Yeah.
So like he answered all your like relationship questions, like your perspective of life, moving forward with like current relationships and future relationships. So I won't ask that again.
Okay.
I guess like now, I do remember one thing you told Koi was like you have a job, like a really good job right now, but it might not continue like
Oh
the
yeah,
next.
it's not continuing, so I'm done.
Okay. So I'm just wondering like since you asked me like questions about like my end goal and like my successes, like what's your goal like after, like what happens like when you're done with that job, like what's your goals? Are you going to pick up streaming again more often? Are you going to like have a different alternative route? Will you still like be raving and making those like connections through the raves, or like what's like your future plans?
Ooh, great question. Honestly, there's a lot of uncertainty. Like I don't know what I want to do like career wise or for work, but I'm still gonna look and just apply to things here and there. Obviously because I won't be working, I'm gonna have to slow down with going to events. But I'd be willing to just like still go out here and there, of course. But there's no like specific end goal when it comes to that. I just hope to find that job security or like sustainability. But when it comes to streaming, I'll still stream here and there, but it won't ever be like a main priority because it's not like something that I could do to be stable financially, honestly. It's always been a hobby.
Do you mind me asking like what's your job title, and are you going to find like the same job
It's
that you're doing now?
okay, so it's not very like transferable. That not like a job that's transferable because it's so specific and it's like so internal to like Google itself, but the title is like just a process specialist, which means like you have certain workflows within the company itself or just like the team that specializes in something, and you just like follow all of like its policies, regulations, so it wouldn't really apply to like outside jobs. But there are like similar things, like skills that are transferable but not the job itself.
Right.
Like if it's like documenting, looking into like data, analyzing, communicating, like I feel like I'm very capable of doing a lot of stuff, but it really depends if like people are willing to take a chance on me, so that's why it's gonna have to apply and figure out like what's out there.
Okay. So you're pretty open on positions and job titles for the future.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. I know you worked at this current job for years. Do you have like other experiences at other jobs like of the same specialty, or is this the only one you kind of have the most experience in?
I had three jobs within the same company, so different teams,
Okay.
but they're all pretty relative, so it's like years of experience for those. But before that was just like a lot of customer service jobs.
Okay.
Yeah. I had like
Um,
6 jobs so far.
okay. It's pretty good extensive history.
But I don't really
Yeah,
include much of the beginning ones because it's like,
yeah, I heard you had like restaurant job
yeah,
experience. Okay. And you used to work with Hai. That's how you met him, kind
yeah.
of like high school.
I worked with him for like 2 jobs.
Okay. Cool. Um, I think two more questions that I just thought off the top of my head.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I know this can be a little touchy subject, but like, do you ever worry about like after you're done with like working at your current job, like finances and like stability, and like what do you think, how you gonna handle that? I mean, I know you live at home, so it's a little bit easier to save money, eat at home, and like not go out and buy food as much. Obviously your job now is like buys you lunch, but like what do you think would what's your next approach with that?
I have like mostly an optimistic approach, but the negative side of it is like, dude, I'm so fucked if I don't find something. Like dead ass, I am so fucked.
Really?
So
That's surprising.
I'm still just like running through it and finishing its course right now. But I feel like when the time comes and if I have to go into like a panic mode or something, I'm just gonna have to figure it out. So like it's tough. Like I might need Vinny to like start picking up more jobs for me. Like that's how bad it is. So Vinny, I need you to hurry up.
Yeah, Vinny, take care of your
Sugar
boy.
mommies and daddies. You know, if it comes down to it.
Yeah, I think obviously I'm like in a similar boat where like I've thought about even applying to like CalFresh. Um because like they can give you like, food stamps for like groceries.
Oh yeah.
Um as well as like I don't know, I guess like just other sources for that too. And but I mean, like I said, you live. I'm. This is just an assumption. You like live with. I see you live with your parents, so I feel like that's a little bit easier. But are you like more independent, where you don't want to like rely on your family for that type of stuff, and you want to like get like do your own thing, or?
It's actually it's like very codependent. Like I am comfortable living with them and stuff, but I'm also like helping with like a good chunk of the expenses. So it's as if like I'm living with housemates, but they're just my family. So that's why
And
if
remind me, you live with your sister and your parents, and who else?
um yeah, that's it. Just my parents and my
Uh,
two sisters.
oh, two sisters. Okay, I did.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought you had one. Okay, okay. Are you the oldest?
Well, I have a stepsister, and she's like a few months older than me. But then I have one
Mm-hmm.
younger sister, and then I also have a step brother that I haven't met yet, but he's older in like Vietnam.
Mm. Are you guys close?
Like we're comfortable close, but we don't like talk talk. I mean I could talk to them whatever, but we're just like living our own lives.
Are any of them like gamers or streamers too?
Yeah, my younger sister, she actually streams.
Oh, she
She's
does.
she's here. She lurks a lot, and but she has been streaming more recently.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But she's like a VTuber. So
Oh, I did not
yeah,
know
I
that.
raided her the other day. So some people may have joined in on the raid and have met her. I forgot who.
Uh,
I know Caster was there,
oh,
but
really?
yeah, there's
Okay.
a few other people. I just don't remember.
Wow, that's something new I did not know about. That's cool.
Yeah, plays a lot more games than I do. She plays a lot of different games.
Like, what kind of games?
I swear she was playing Monster Hunter or something, but just a lot of variety games that I don't even know about.
Yeah, you're
It's
I noticed you're
Valorant.
very
That's it.
just chatting
Yeah.
and Valorant type of guy. Would you be open to like other games?
Honestly, I don't think I have the attention span for games at the moment. I'm just like more invested in literally just talking to people and meeting people rather
Oh,
than like
really?
playing games.
And I
Yeah.
guess like following that question, do you ever like I know like I'm same where I like meet people. Do you ever just like feel burnt out from like your social battery being drained?
Kind of. I feed off of people's energy for the most part. I don't know. I feel like I have crackhead energy when it comes to events. Like it means that I have a lot to look forward to, and that's what excites me.
Mm-hmm.
Um I think it's more of like when the fun stops, that's when I actually feel drained and just like more like sad that it's over, you know? It's like
Oh.
yeah, you have like such high highs, and then once it stops, it's like, damn, I'm looking forward to like the next thing. But I wouldn't say I'm like socially burnt out. I know when to take breaks, like physically. But yeah, we're good. We're good out here. Just always looking forward to
Okay.
more. That's why I've been going to events every week.
Yeah, I was gonna like ask that because like I see that you're going a lot
Yeah.
and I'm just like
How?
how do you have the energy? Like I am like tired, I'm burnt out. I don't think I can personally do it, but
Yeah.
I know like you're just I don't know, you just have that energy. I don't I just need like I guess I want to know like perception of it. That's all.
Yeah. It was kind of like how I was super like grindy and like invested into Twitch, which was like super fun and everything, meeting people, but I just took it to like a whole different level, just having interactions in person. I still
Mhm.
maintain Twitch because it's like fun and like I could keep in touch with a lot of friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an addiction to like meeting people.
I definitely feel that now with Twitch. I have like a little high from streaming again.
Yeah,
Because like now I'm like updating my Discord now. Like before, my Discord was so dead, but now I'm like trying to add more things to it. I'm trying to like I even bought new emotes, so I'm gonna like have new emotes for my Twitch. I'm trying to like clip things now and maybe turn them to TikToks. Who knows? I'm just like definitely on the high of like streaming.
Yeah.
So that's I feel I relate to that. I guess like event wise, I'm not, but again, money just comes
Okay.
into such a big factor, so
True.
it's like hard to go to every event, every rave. I know
Very
like
true.
Kai keeps trying to like convince me to go to like everything, but it's just I do have like very self like what's it called? Like I'm able to like know my limits.
Self-restraint.
Yeah.
Self-control.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. That's
Um
good that you don't have to like have the FOMO or anything.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. I do have FOMO. I definitely think when you guys go to EDC and I see all the videos and snaps and everything, I'm gonna definitely have FOMO
Yeah.
because it seems like everyone's going to EDC this year. And I'm just like, why? The one year I'm not going, but I do know EDC will always be around. I know every year it's always gonna be kind of relatively the same. Just obviously different layout of the map, whatever.
Yeah, artists, yeah.
It's artists. So I just think like I am not too worried if like I miss a year because it'll still always be there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have like friends that like that's been going to EDC for like years and they're like in their like kind of like mid-30s and like they're still going at it. I'm just like, wow, good for you. Maybe when I have like when I make decent money and decent pay, I could like do like certain like I definitely have like a wish list. I definitely like want to go to Coachella one day because like I do like K-pop. I do like different genres of music
Different genres. Yep.
or like ultra or anything like that. Like I would love to go one day, but we'll see when the time is right for that one.
Yeah.
My last
Sick.
question. Oh,
Hmm?
what were you gonna say?
No. I said sick. Like that's awesome.
My last question, I guess for now is going back to the friendships.
Yeah.
I know you asked me like levels of friendships. Like what like how do you value friendships and how do you like value like level it into like in your life? I know like for example, like me and you, we're not like super close, but we are pretty good friends and if we hang out, I would invite you, like no doubt about
Yeah.
it. But like obviously you have since you're more outgoing, you go to like SoCal a lot, you go to all these events and you create all these events, like what like level of friendships do you have? And like sometimes when I see you guys just get like crawfish, I'm just like, dang, like I want to like hang out with Wilson and Hein too and like eat crawfish with them. But I also know like you guys have like your own little group going on. So I'm not gonna be like,
Okay.
I'm not gonna be like, dang, TFTI, but when the time is right, like I will like hang out with you another time.
Ooh, okay. So for me, the layers, the levels of it, I feel like ultimately I do want those type of friendships where you could spontaneously hit someone up and they would be down. So that like applies to the little group that you see, like of us coming together. Like we
Mm-hmm.
built that type of friendship and those are definitely ones that I appreciate a lot. I want to like have more people like that. So like knowing that you would be down to do that or you're interested, like that's super cool because it's like usually the same group or it's like that small group because I know that those are the ones who are like willing to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in general, when it comes to friendships, I tend to try to be comfortable close with a lot of people, like just to keep the close ones. It's like the relationship where you could just talk comfortably whenever
Mm-hmm.
and be super chill with each other. Um, obviously could hit each other up, like vice versa. Like that's like I guess the level outside of that because the people that I hit up spontaneously are just like the ones that live close to me.
Yeah.
It's like way
And
easier, right? And we're
yeah.
just like at that very comfortable level. Um, but yeah, I genuinely love like meeting people, and I try to get to that close friendship. It's like all these people in the chat, for example. So I'm super comfortable with everyone. They could drop by whenever. I could talk to them about whatever. I don't think I make the effort like often to really talk to people unless I'm streaming, because life is like super busy.
Yeah.
But then there's also those people that I'm cool with and comfortable with, but we just don't talk. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I get that.
Like
100%.
you'll always be cool with them, and you don't need or feel the need to talk to them, but you definitely can as well. So it's just the balance or difference between that and what I mentioned earlier is just that you just don't talk like on a
Yeah.
daily basis or as much. So
So do you have to have like a daily conversation with your close friends to like consider them your close friends?
no,
You would
no,
think?
I don't.
Okay.
I
Okay.
think that we'd always be close, like even if we don't talk for a while. But I try to put that message out to let people know that I'm willing to make time for people if they, I don't know, give me like a clue that they want to or show that they're willing to, stuff like that. Because I take a lot of like I really appreciate it when people make the effort to like reach out. So even if it's someone that I've only like hung out with once, for example, right? Like let's say I met them at an event, and then another event comes up, they're gonna be like, "Hey Wilson, like you want to go to this event? Join me in my group or something?" Like I would be inclined to say yes. People don't know
Mhm.
that, but then I don't. I've been trying to like learn to like get to know people more to be able to give that message off. Those things like that. So it's like if you hit me up for like whenever you hit me up for like bowling or these hangouts and stuff, like if I'm free, then I would for the most part be willing to.
Yeah.
Like 90% of the time.
Right.
Yeah. And then there's just like friends that are kind of like acquaintances and stuff. Like doesn't mean that they're not close. It just means that to me we haven't gotten to that level yet.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I definitely try my best to make friends really close. So that's why when I go to events too, I'm slowly becoming more selective with who I like trade IGs and stuff with, honestly. It's very funny, but that's like realistic.
Yeah.
Because I've been
And it's
doing that
okay.
too much, like on the spot. Like, oh, one great conversation. Hey, what's your IG? And then we never talk.
But then you don't
Fuck.
remember who they are.
Yeah, and that pisses me off because my memory has become so bad, but it's also because I'm meeting so many people and we don't talk after one meeting.
Right.
Because that has happened before. I met someone and then I saw them at another event and they were like, "Yo, what's up?" And I'm just like, "We've met?"
You- Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
remember.
And then when he said his name, I was like, "Oh shit! I just didn't remember you because we barely talked, but I remember when we met, like through whichever
Right.
group." Yeah,
The interaction.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I felt that.
definitely.
But yeah, those are like the layers of friends, but the main message I want to get out is like definitely want to be close with a lot of people. That everyone
Yeah.
has their own communication styles and stuff. And maybe it's timing, maybe you just don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's like so like when you ask me the marriage question, like if I invite you, like I say yes because like even though we're not like we don't talk all the time, and and that scenario gave me was like if we have talked for 5 years, I know you're very like responsive.
Yeah,
Like there are times where you told me, yes, you can come to this, or no, you can't come to this, and you actually respond to me in a decent time.
yeah.
That's what I really appreciate about you. Because there's like, some people, not gonna say names, who don't respond to me at all, or like don't even like text me back, and I'm just like I have to like call them out, be like, hey, are you going to this or not? And then they show up. So
Yeah,
yeah, I'm very like glad that you are very like attentive to those things, as well as like you see that I try to like include you in like hangouts, or like I try to hit you up when like I'm at a rave, and I like know you're going to the same rave, so I try to meet up with
yeah,
you. um and like I know like this year you're going to EDC, and like I'm sure you're struggling to like meet up with everybody, because I'm sure you have like your good friends that you're going to EDC with, but then you probably have like people from Ohana that you're probably gonna have to meet up with, because you know
I want to meet
they're
up
in
with
their
you.
own group,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you have
yeah,
to meet
yeah,
up with them.
hundred
So
percent, 100%.
So I think I guess like to like say is like I appreciate that you like our friendship because like you like remember me as well as like you like try to include me in things, and like I know like I would personally like to get to know you more as well as I don't know how you feel about me, but like we definitely could like get to know each other more, and like you but still appreciate me as like a good friend.
Yeah. No, I definitely do, because like I see your way of putting in the effort. Even like the littlest things like shows me so much from people. Like if I were to get like a random checkup message, that like means so much. Or even like people stopping by streams. I try my best to like keep people close, but then over time I realize like once it's not reciprocated, and I kind of just like let go and just kind of like goes however it goes. I did ask you that question about the marriage thing because I was thinking about it too. I was just like, if I were to be married today, get married today, who would I invite and who wouldn't I invite? And I feel like now that I've talked to you about it, I think I would agree that 5 years, let's say 5 years from now, I would invite you because it really depends on where we left off.
Oh, hello?
Hello?
Oh, it cut off.
Oh yeah. So that's all I said. It's based on
Oh,
where we
okay.
left off for the most
Yeah.
part. Like if we leave off on good terms, it's good. If it's like random, I don't know, time where we just don't talk and wasn't like the cleanest, in a way like a friendship breakup happens.
Okay, I think that's very like realistic. It's hard because I don't think I would ever have like a bad relationship with you, like at all. So I'm just surprised that like if that's like a thought in the head, but like I think like my perspective is different. I don't like, I don't know about yours, but I appreciate the honesty. Um, let's see. Yeah, I feel like now that I went through all these life experiences, like I don't like waste my time anymore because I went through so many like friendship breakups and to like to care too much and to invest in too much of my emotion to it.
Yeah.
As long as like we are still good, and 5 years down
Mm-hmm.
the line we're still good, like I will still, consider you as my friend. But again, I'm just like that type of person anyway. Like I will always like be there even if we don't talk as much because like that's just how I am as a person.
Yeah.
Um and yeah, I don't know. I guess that's like the kind of like the last question I had for you.
Appreciate
Um
that.
and like I guess like I'm glad that like even like okay like at Davin when you like looked back at me and you're like, "Are you good?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good." Like I was just vibing. Like I appreciate like those small things too because you were
Mm-hmm.
like just genuinely just checking up on like everyone around us and like making sure I was good. So it was a good time. I enjoyed like hanging out with you guys at Devin, and then I'll see you hopefully at Martin Garrix. So that'll be fun.
Up. And yeah, to wrap up that conversation specifically about friends, it's like how now with this podcast, just talking to you, and then even like talking to Koi, for example, it's like you guys are people that I know that I could talk to, but we just have never had that one-on-one conversation.
Yeah.
So it's nice to be able to like get it out there, and it just shows that yeah, we're definitely capable of like chatting it up. So that's what I appreciate, and I know that applies to a lot of people. Like we just don't talk, and that's okay, but we're still close, and we can talk. Timing's not there, maybe the effort's not being put in, but at least as long as we're on good terms, then that's great.
Oh yeah. I mean like and like, I don't live in the same city as you, so it's a little harder
Yeah.
to like hang out with you guys since distance is comes into factor. But like if you do like end up like having like a hangout and you want to invite me, like I will make the time for it depending on if
Hell
I'm busy
yeah.
or not. Just
Yeah,
because
that's
like,
okay.
I do like catching up with like you and Hi and like other people like too,
Mhm.
just because it's like nice to like catch up with you guys and like talk to you guys because it's enjoyable. And I really had a good time hanging out with like everyone at Dabin because it was like like it's been a while since I like went in a like hung out with an event with
With
you
like a
guys.
big group and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Andy, welcome in.
Hi,
Thank you so much, man. Thank you
hi,
for the resub
Andy.
for 1 year. Let's go.
Woo! Let's
Hi again, Eunice.
go.
Hi, Alex. Hi, Mish. Hi, everyone. All
Resubs.
right, that was a fun chat. Um, almost my bedtime too. Perfect. Do you have any last words you want to say to everyone watching, or last message?
Yeah. Thank you, Wilson, for having me on this podcast. I'm very grateful of like your attention to detail as well as like your good conversations. I definitely think you make the podcasts very easy and enjoyable to go through and very comfortable because at first I was kind of nervous,
Yeah, a lot of
but
people are. It's okay.
but you definitely have like a good presence, like I said many times. Um, like I enjoyed talking to you and getting to know you as well as I appreciate you letting me talk about my personal like my past, my history, as well as my current like life.
Yeah.
You know, I think thank you to everyone in the chat. Thank you for supporting Wilson as well.
This guy's here.
Shout out to Wilson Chang, twitch.tv/Wilson Chang, as well as YouTube. What else? You're on TikTok.
Thanks for the
And
plug.
yeah, I mean, if you wanna, I think that's really about myself. If you wanna say hi to me, I'm just like a small streamer, but
Almost 1K. Exclamation
okay.
guest, guys. Follow Amber's Twitch.
Almost 1K. Thank you. I appreciate it. I am, I stream almost every day except for like 1 day or 2 days off the week.
Yeah.
Usually in the evenings. And then I, try to like just stream more and make more content because like I definitely am on like that streaming grind where I want to be able to, you know, you know, build my own community and like build a connection with people.
Yeah, this has been fun, and again, this is why I like hosting these. It's because you, not only me, but you guys get to learn so much about our guests. So I learned a lot about Amber, like more than I expected. I didn't even know you were from Arizona. That's so crazy to
Yeah,
me.
fellow
And just
Arizonian, go Sun Devils. So yeah.
yeah, we learned about your story, and yeah, if you guys are watching this on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you to everyone for tuning in, especially the live audience for keeping the chat just chatty. And this will
Yeah.
be on YouTube within the next few days. This has been a great episode, Chat with Wilson, episode 22, featuring Amber, aka CookieAmbz. All right, what are you
Woo!
planning to do after this?
Probably just play some games, hang out with friends in Discord if they're awake or in call. And just chill. Yeah, so
Yeah,
it was
sounds good.
this podcast was a lot of fun. I didn't expect to be more personal and open to everyone or
Yeah.
to like the audience, but I'm definitely glad I did because like I'm able to, like share my experiences with everyone who's listening and got to like talk to you and you get to know things about me versus vice versa to you.
Yeah, you've shared a lot of like positive messages and just like real authentic stories. Even like got emotional. So I really appreciate how you're able to like open up like that. We'll talk more. So
Yeah, definitely.
yes, like we said, keep in touch, and yeah, that's a wrap. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.
Woo!